What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Golden Dice Podcast. This is episode number 9. We are your least favorite and worst on the market Star Wars Unlimited podcast. And I am excited to talk about the live stream that we had, but also very nervous for what Brian and Flock are about to say. The shenanigans and the things that were consumed before I started hitting recording has me worried. But we're here. They don't even need to stay standing with it. They just got to stay sitting upright. So I think we can do that. But let's catch up. Brian, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks, probably since our podcast?
2 weeks. Same old stuff. One Piece a little bit. And Spider-Man saving New York City.
Did you save it? Did you 100% it yet?
I did. I did today. Yeah, I platinumed the game.
What difficulty?
Spectacular.
Nice. That's spectacular.
Plot twist, that's the lowest difficulty. Flock, what about you?
Playing SWO, getting my butt kicked. Been on SWODB a lot, just theory crafting and all that stuff.
Looking at the
Looking at the
pictures.
art.
Yeah, look at the pictures because I can't read, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, just waiting for March 8th is literally what I've been doing. I think in our group chat we've
March
talked
1st.
about, well, March 1st.
Get that
Actually, yeah.
pre-release.
But still, March 1st is going to be, as I'm thinking about it now, March 1st is going to be the biggest tease because we still have to wait another week to, like, get our boxes. Like, yeah, we're going to get, like, the few packs, and then it's just like, I'm going to want my box or my case. And I'm just going to be like, yeah, it's going to be a huge tease, dude.
Pre-release
like
can be
back in-
anytime
it's like
that
back
week,
in-
so
It's like
you can
back in
go
high
to full.
school again.
Bro, you can go like 3-4 starting that Friday. And wait, would you say back in high school?
Yeah, I
Wait,
was going to say, what do you mean?
How many times you got teased back? Yeah, sorry. Never mind. Yeah. You guys didn't get teased in high school?
I did
I
not
got
lick
teased
the
in
bottom
middle
of
school.
shoes. I did not lick the bottom of people's shoes. No, I did not.
Yeah, good times.
Cool.
It'll be fine. We're going to do many pre-releases. It'll be fine. You'll get your fill. The
Yeah.
week will go real slow, but then
I really hope it goes fast.
all you really got to make it do is PAX Unplugged, and then you got to wait till March 1st, you know?
That's going to be another
Exactly.
tease. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
dude.
just-
That's going to be a bigger tease than March 1st. March 1st, it's like...
Actually, yeah, I think
Christmas
you're right. 'Cause-
Eve,
yeah,
you
I
know?
think because I think feeling the cards is going to be more of a tease. You know?
I want to date the Marvel.
Like, you
Yeah,
get
It's
I
the
wanna
probably,
top
not,
check
shot.
it's probably not
Marvel.
even good quality, though, the demo decks. I'd be surprised.
They've got to be, like, samples that they've gotten from, like, their actual supplier. There's
Yeah.
no way it's going to be, like,
But that doesn't-
not...
Yeah, it's not going to be paper, but I don't think it's going to be as good quality as what it'll be in the packs.
Oh yeah, because they probably have their own printer that they make it, and it's not at the same quality. That's gonna be whatever. I'm not worried about that. Whatever. Cardboard's cardboard.
It's definitely going to feel bad of us playing with like half the set like we have been, and then everything we get through November as well, spoiler-wise, and then having to go play the
Yeah.
demo decks, like the 30-deck demo. It's like at this
Yeah.
point, we're actually getting like...
Regressing. We're regressing at that point.
Yeah, like
you
the
know?
decks we're building, like, still not all the way there, right? There's still maybe like a core 25, 30 cards that like synergize well, but then the last 20 are like, this has the same aspect icon and does similar things to what I wanted this slot to do. But yeah, then we'll go back to the 30 card.
I mean, I've been playing Vader, so like it's not gonna be anything new for me. I just get a promo.
Yeah, I haven't touched Vader or Luke. So
Really?
But I don't
you
mind
haven't
playing
played
either of
Boba.
them. It's more so just the deck is going to be worse. It's gonna be
I
30
just
cards.
like this dude. I just like
You
this
should
dude.
try him next time. Next time you play, branch
I
out from the
prob-
Boba IG yellow red villain.
Branch
I'm
out
working
from
on
the
a
three
new.
colors.
I'm working on a new IG, and
What? You gonna slice like 3 new cards in there? Or...
nah, it's just the mono red.
He's gonna
dude,
go mono
with
red.
With Tarkin Town. That's what I'm working with right
Okay.
now. IG.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
show him, buddy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. But yeah, we've been anybody that hasn't maybe just listens to our podcast but hasn't checked out on YouTube. We've been posting a lot of videos. Been trying to get like a steady feed of articles going on, but just been a little bit busy with me. But we did drop a Sabine deck tech, and on top of that, a gameplay video for that as well. So if you're interested in Sabine, I do have a Han one and a Luke one as well. If you're interested in those characters as well, and Brian's talking about writing up a Krennic and a Vader one. Flock was mentioning like Boba and IG, so hopefully we'll be able to get some of those characters out to you. But we've been talking about those decks in our Discord anyway, so if you're interested in any of those things, check out our YouTube, check out our Discord. You know, We can have some chit chats in there. I'm gonna try to build up Lei again, but it feels weird because it doesn't feel like Lei actually cares about playing space units, but like I want to play Wedge and stuff. So it definitely decked at one of those falls in those categories of like only a third of it synergizes and the rest is just kind of filler because that's all. But I want to have Wedge hit the table. Both games I
I'm gonna
played.
revisit Tarkin.
Oh, what's that?
I'm gonna revisit Tarkin too. I think.
Yeah, Tarkin added the 2 new green ones, and that
stuff,
felt
yeah.
pretty good. I've only like jammed random ones on Felt Table. I try not to play Felt Table that much because it's never a good like reading, right? It's against AI. Like I legitimately think I lost one game in, I don't know, the 30-40 I've played or something like that, and even with some pretty rough decks. So it's not like the biggest gauge for things, but you know, it's fun to just at least put the new cards in and actually play with them before you guys come over and stuff.
Yeah. Haven't touched it. I'd rather play against people.
Oh, well, yeah. I can only do 1 or 2 games at a time, but it's nice because if you start it, there's no timer to it because it's against AI, so you can like literally get up and walk away or whatever.
Locke does that when we play though, so.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah, my mind. I just walk away. Space out.
There's a delay here. I think. I don't.
Is this thing on?
I might not be doing it right now. Spacing out.
Did you ever get picked on? Did you ever get teased?
Never get these.
It's got to be the same feeling as it'll be for the pre-release, right? No. So
Not the tease I thought you were.
You know I was talking about the other T's,
I
right?
know.
Holy.
Yeah.
Holy.
Let's move on though.
So FFG just had a really good live stream talking about the competitive side of OP, and each time they do a stream, I don't think it can get better, and then it does. Right, again, the aspect ones are a lot of fun. We had the aggression one earlier in the month, but this one, and I believe it was the casual play was like the one a month ago, and that was like really good, and that talked about the packs at weekly play, talked about pre-release events and stuff like that. So that was really good, but this is honestly one of the streams that I think there was a good amount of people sitting on the fence in regards to FFG. They're still concerned about FFG's past, and then also like even in the midst of when they were doing things well-ish at Destiny, like there were still some complaints about how competitive OP was run, how Worlds was run, how you qualified for that, and there's a lot of things to be desired. So this actually helped clear it up. Like even Scott, who's been on here a few times, we're trying to get him on tonight, but he had Flesh and Blood tournament tonight, and then he had to log back into work after that, so he's not able to be here. But he was one of the ones on the fence, and as the stream is happening, I immediately text him. I was like, Scott, there's a judge program. There's a judge program. He's like, what? Like, send me this right now. So he was super excited about that and the information, and I jokingly said he's now locked in for 4 cases. He can't get out. But
That was a joke.
that was a joke, yeah. He's buying one for each of us.
Heck yeah. All right,
Yeah, okay.
All right, Scott.
Yeah, he can't back out now. It's on the podcast.
I don't care what y'all say about Scott. I like Scott.
Yep. So it was a really good live stream. If you haven't watched it, go back and check it out. Of course, they hit us up with 2 spoilers as well, and we'll go over those towards the end of the podcast. But yeah, this was a big one. This one helped get people who were on the fence pushed into it and got people really excited for what it looked about, because Destiny was a little bit of a mess, right? Just store championships, regionals. You know, you could be in Flock's position where you second place 100 times and then don't get an invite. But they talked about point system attached to your player IDs, which a lot of that stuff is going to be really cool. So I just want to like half read through it a little bit. The article that they threw up is called A Grand Competition. It's got Thrawn as the cover. Dude, please just give us Thrawn already. Like, they keep putting this art out there. And it's like, what does that go with? Because at this point, if it's not a character, or a leader, I'm going to be very disappointed. Very disappointed. But yeah, so into the article, they throw up the C3OP thing that they've talked about with the casual structure and the competitive play structure that we have seen before. But they get into it and they say, today's the day, competitive tier events. They're talking about creating a friendly competitive environment where players can test their skills against one another for a chance to earn some awesome prizes. But before they dive into that, they want to take a moment to talk about tournament points, which we first mentioned back in the article in May. But anytime you play in a qualifying competitive tier event, you will earn some tournament points based on your final placement. These points will be tracked via your own personal account on Star Wars Unlimited website, a functionality that will become available before the start of the first organized play season. And then once you earn enough tournament points across any number of competitive tier events in a season, you'll receive an invitation to compete in the Galactic Championship event for that season. The exact number of tournament points you'll need to earn will be revealed at a later date. So, you show up to any of those things on that chart, planetary, regional, sector qualifiers, you get points to go to Galactic Championship. Essentially, invites passed down a little bit more. I am a fan of this. How are we feeling of... I mean, I think Fab had something similar, right?
Yeah,
The experience.
Yeah, they had a leaderboard going too.
Is
I
it
think it's
exactly
great.
the same? I really didn't pay enough.
I don't know particularly. I mean, we haven't seen Star Wars yet,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It probably is something pretty similar. They did say they're having their own kind of like proprietary stuff going on with that. So that's good. But it's good. I like this idea, and I like being able to like tangibly track what I've earned too. You know,
It's gonna be a little sad. Either we'll have so many, or it's like, man, we went to way too many events, or we'll have so little. And be like, man, I went to all these events and I've only got these points to show for it.
yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
know. I mean, at
Yeah.
a certain point, like as long as it's points, that's fine. I'll get an excess of points if I need to. That's great. It's the money that I don't want to know about. I don't want to see. As long as they don't track that on the website, we're golden. We're great.
It's convenient that we're on the East Coast where we are, because like there's a lot of places we can go to for easy driving. So we're very lucky with that. Like it's not that far. When you guys did Rochester one time, and it's only like what
That was
a
like
7-8 hour drive. So it's like it's doable if you're really committed. Didn't you guys go to like Ohio for like something
We
too?
did.
Like
that was
it's
galactic.
we
Yeah.
like we
One
can
of my favorite memories.
we could drive to Ohio. We don't have to worry about getting a plane ticket like some people. So we are very fortunate with that, which I am excited for because there's gonna be a lot of stuff near us probably because of the dense population of South Jersey,
dense.
or area of where we're at. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, even beyond like Ohio and Rochester, like
Yeah,
you have Philadelphia, you have New York, you have Maryland,
Yep.
you have
Yep.
Virginia and stuff. So yeah, we're definitely spoiled in that regard.
when we go up to New York, we just crash at Alan's house. So we don't have to pay for a hotel.
I'd like to come back alive, not covered in pee.
He's got those piss scars going on. I don't know if I can handle a night there. Weird stuff's happening.
For reference, at Kappa Cup, which was a Destiny
reference,
fan
no
run
context.
event, Alan just showed up with a mason jar that had some type of alcohol in it.
It's apple pie moonshine.
It was apple
Yeah,
pie
Apple pie
moonshine.
moonshine,
Yes.
yeah.
But we just called it the piss jar because
The piss jar. And everyone took swigs out of it as the day went on.
Yeah,
I don't think I did. I think I avoided it.
Oh, you're lucky because
Yeah, I avoided it.
I think I did one.
that was ground zero for COVID. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I don't drink. I don't drink.
Alan was the one who gave it to the bat, and then the bat went back to John.
Yeah, right.
I think that was like a couple years ago from like this week, right?
Yeah, it's usually in
Yeah,
October.
something like that.
Yeah, because I got like a Google Photos like notification of like
Yeah.
Alan put a picture of us up in the Discord when that happened. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, so long ago. Still a
I
dream.
had nice
Model
hair. Dude, I
Yeah,
had
I was
nice
about to
hair.
say.
And
I
I'm
was
like,
the ball.
dang, it's yep. I don't have nice hair anymore.
Me neither, buddy. It's okay.
I'll hold it down for you guys, Norman.
Thanks, buddy.
I'll-
Appreciate it.
I'll keep the length going. The only potential downside could be like depends how the point distribution goes, and are you more rewarded for being like it's gonna reward degenerate play style of like just going to as many events as you can, which like isn't a bad thing, but like competitive integrity type thing, like
Yeah.
I just hope that the points distribute well to the point where somebody can go to just one or two and still have a good chance if they make top 8 at those events as compared to the person who goes every single time but maybe plays 15th, 16th every time or something. So
That'll be
like,
me.
there's a balance somewhere around there.
Oh, that has to be. I mean, there has to be feedback going on within talking about like what's fair. I mean, it depends on how many of these things there are too, and I think that's why they didn't say like this is how many points we need and this is how many points you're getting, because you don't know how the store cooperates or the stores are going to cooperate with them, especially since their record isn't super solid, you know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of stores and a lot of people and a lot of players are kind of still skeptical. Although after this one, I don't know how you could be. At every stream, like they just show that they've metamorphosized.
It's a different company.
It is.
But to be fair, it is all talking. So it's until we see action.
But they never even did this talk before though either.
Oh no, I totally agree with that. But like, as if I were a business, a game store potentially, it's like I've been screwed before. You're saying this, great, but there's nothing to back it up yet. Do I really want to take that risk again? I hope they do. I mean, I would if watching these streams, but
they have the best laid plans right now. So
yeah, I think it's a great. So hopefully they're listening and they're like, okay, let's give them one more shot, and they better not mess up.
Truth be told, I feel like there's a lot of stores right now who are probably hesitant, but I feel like so many of them are just going to straight up fall in line because like, what is there to lose if they only order like what people are pre-ordering to? Like a lot of what Destiny issue was that there wasn't a lot of products, so stores like in Set 2 especially ordered more than they needed for their players because it was so short stock that they wanted to order more, so they had more and stuff like that. But then the game wasn't draftable, it sat on the shelves. But it's like at this point, if I'm a store, I would just take pre-orders. I got, I don't know, 10 people who all want between a box and a case, right? Take their pre-orders and then try to host an event. Like where in there would I lose money? And I'm not a store owner, so I don't know. And I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into it. I'm sure there's different tiers, Asmodee reps, whatever. But I'd be pretty confident in a lot of stores actually stepping up and being like, oh, I can just make money by saying yes to you ordering from my store. You want to give me money and I will come. I will let you give it to me. So I'm pretty confident in a lot of stores end up hosting a lot of these things. Like I think Comic Book Store, like for us, I think Top Deck will host it because again, no reason not to. I think you'll have like some stores in Philly doing it, stuff down the shore. So for us, like I'm optimistic, and I'm sure there's other people in across the country who will have similar options. If your store is still not budging at this point, it is 5 months out. Like we are still like a decent ways away. But yeah. I do think it would be kind of dumb for stores to just be like, no, I'm not going to take your money.
Yeah, agree.
It's a huge IP. I mean, it's not gonna. It's. I almost want to use this expression "too big to fail," right? But if we're talking about Star Wars, people are going to buy it, no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. How much are they going to buy? Like that's up in the air too. But it's Star Wars.
Yeah, at least the first
IP
set.
is huge.
Yeah, at least the first set. There's like a collector's thing of just Star Wars in general. You know, so you'll have people buying the cards just for a collective thing or a box to 30 years from now try to sell it, kind of thing, like an unopened box, like collectors for Star Wars.
30 years from now.
I think Rebel Spy did that from the Unplayable crew. I haven't listened to their podcast, but in the Discord he said he bought 4 cases or pre-ordered 4 cases. And he says 1 case he's gonna like set aside sell, 1 case is to open, 1 case is like to do draft with, and then he's got to decide with the other one.
It's sort of cool having one, like having like an unopened sealed box, and then like say like 30 years from now you have it, you're like, oh, I'm gonna put it on eBay and whatever, and someone's gonna want to get it because like, what if we have a Destiny box 30 years from now? We're like, nostalgia. Let me buy it, and you have money or whatever. So that's definitely a thing.
Boxes?
24 boxes. Yep.
Some quick maths on that one.
24 times. Hey, we can't be dragging somebody through the mud.
No. I was just wondering if it's feasible.
Oh, for you to do it?
It's not feasible.
Could I do that? I actually do love the idea of like, maybe we don't do a case, but maybe like between the 3 of us, we like split like, I don't know, 2-3 boxes to just have on hand so we can draft. But it also depends like how much draft goes on with the stores around us too. Like if the stores are doing drafts, then we probably don't need to do that. But could be fun for us to do it. Have Scott come over, maybe Carrie hops in, and then we convince Tommy or Scott or.
I think it'd be fun. Just also, if we're like trying to flesh out like a complete set, it might be nice. Like we have a few boxes set aside. It's like, okay, well, I already have 4 or 5 of these. Like you need one kind of thing.
Yep.
So.
But anyways.
I shouldn't open my calculator. That was a mistake. I'm just lost in the sauce right now.
But But yeah, so point system is what we were talking about, right?
Yeah, point system is great if they figure it out and they make it fair and they, figure out who's working with them and don't do math, folks. Don't look at those numbers.
So, jumping back into the competitive
Right.
tier and events, the first one up is planetary qualifiers. And so these are only store level events in the competitive play circuit. So they consist of a single day event with prizes awarded for both participation and final placement. Players who place high enough will earn tournament. What, dude?
Tournament points.
I did the same thing with Sabine. I forget what I said. I did something
Wine.
too. Yeah, do one to each
Wine.
base.
Do one to each base.
Players who place high enough will earn enough points based on their final ranking, with the winner of that event receiving exactly enough points to qualify for the Galactic Championship, which is Worlds. And then starting with the game's second set, planetary qualifiers will be held at select retailers around the world. And from that set on, each set will have its own batch of planetary qualifiers, and the store selected to host them will rotate with each set. This means that you should have lots of opportunities to attend PQs throughout the season. These remind me of regionals, is what it seems like right now for me. So if you play Destiny, think of regionals. You can think of planetary qualifiers as that. Dub.
So, when I was watching the live stream, they were talking about like hypothetical relative time frames for each of these events happening, and they're throwing out like this is like once a month, or like twice a month. They kept throwing out like this is once a month, this is twice a month, this is once every other month. Like it sounds like a lot of these events are gonna happen. Like it sounds like you have a good opportunity to attend
Awesome.
any of these, regardless of where you are. Plus, there's a store locator. I don't know if they're talking about that in the article later, but there's a store event locator that they're going to have a database for, which is great too. So you're not like calling up random local stores and going like, "Hey, what are you doing? When are you doing it?" So on and so forth.
I hope it's better than Bandai's. I hate trying to find One Piece events.
Bandai's a little messy. I do like the idea, and I like that it's there.
Yep.
And I like that they have an app in general. I hope that they follow suit and have some sort of app. Like I like that Lorcana had an app too. I would like a little more functionality than Lorcana's app, but
yeah,
this is also a dub. I agree.
Yeah, starting with the game's second set. So this first one, we're not going to get any of it. The first one, we're just going to have the store championships and weekly play stuff, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So, right, the second set comes out July.
Yeah.
And store championships are a month after. So if that's in July, I would expect store championships August. Maybe it's September, October is when you look for the planetary qualifiers, and then the third set is November. So in my mind, that's how that makes sense. If it's earlier, if it's later, that's fine. But I feel like they would want to stay away from store championships and planetary qualifiers or store showdowns. I'm sorry, is the name of this one. Overlapping, but I mean, you really could get away with it, right? Stores, if you give the planetary qualifier to a store in August, and that's the store or the month for store showdowns, I'm sure other stores could plan around it, but it does take away like a whole Saturday or something for that. But yeah, I don't know. This seems awesome, and we're gonna be playing a lot of them. Like one thing that I didn't like too was in Destiny you had a regional season, right? It was just like 2 to 3 months where regional events happen, and this is every set.
Yeah.
From that set on, each will have its own batch of planetary qualifiers. Yeah, so there could be multiple, like you were saying, once a month, twice a month. The store selected host them are going to rotate. So I am all for more of this because regionals were a lot of fun too, right? The store championships in Destiny, I think were like cool, and we did a few of them, but it really just felt like it was the same exact people showing up to all of them. Whereas regionals is when you kind of got to you see some of the faces you don't see as much. And
it was to the point where like a lot of people had won stuff and were like, I don't really want this. Like you can have it. I'm just here for X, Y, and Z. Whatever it was.
With store champs, yeah.
Yeah, and it felt like a lot of them kind of went to. It was a mixed bag, right? Like you have some people that already won and had the prizes or whatever, and they came to like play for fun and had their own deck, and then some people came and just mercilessly bullied people. Not like mercilessly bullied, but like had them meta decks, brought them with them, and they were like, I'm here to win. Yeah. Again and again and again. So
our meta was pretty ruthless.
It was. Yeah, our area especially. I remember being like, oh, I think I want to run something fun this time, and then someone comes up and it's like
Just get your face punched.
meta
in.
deck.
Yeah. Well, at least now, like they were saying, I don't know if we've gotten to it yet, but like the passing down of the stuff. So
Yeah.
even if someone's doing that, at least you can show up, and even if someone is in the area is just running rampant and showing up with the best deck, if they've already gotten their world's qualification, then it goes down, which is nice.
Well, the point spread. Did they say the invite actually goes down, or is it just the?
I
points out of it?
I thought I remember them saying
I
it
think
goes
I remember
down.
them saying that too.
Yeah, I think I remember them saying like it passes down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, planetary qualifier, I expect to be fully competitive. I think people are going to be trying and testing for
Yep.
that. It's more so the store showdowns is what I was thinking of. Like,
Yep.
a lot of the same people going to and stuff. But yeah, this is awesome. Multiple year, multiple each set, competitive event. So I know that the two that we're about to get into are not starting until 2025, but I do feel like planetary qualifiers are going to be a good holdover for us of competitive type events until 2025 hits with sectors and planetary, and then worlds as well. But so we'll get into them. Any other thoughts on planetary? We covered most of them.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so going down to sectors, this is the next tier of competitive events, and these are standalone events not tied to any event or convention that can occur all over the world. There are fewer of these events than planetary qualifiers, and they operate on a larger scale. They are a 2-day event hosted alongside an assortment of side events, perfect for nurturing the connect part of OP that we mentioned earlier. To go along with those side events, each will also have a prize wall full of unique and exciting prizes that you can grab between games. As for the tournament itself, it's going to be similar to PQs. The SQs will have prizes for both participation and placement, and the amount of tournament points awarded will also be enough for each of the top players to qualify for the Galactic Championship, with the exact number of those players differing based on the size of the event. So this reminds me, last planetary remind me of regionals. Sector kind of reminds me of Galactic
Like
qualifiers.
Gen Con, kind of. Or
Well,
like,
No, I
is
actually
this
think the next
Gen Con
one.
or
I
is
think
this-
I think regional is going to remind me of like the North America Championship and stuff like that, which was Gen Con. Whereas this reminds me
PAX,
more so of like
maybe.
GQs that were at PAX, that were at whatever we went to in Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio. Yeah.
Origins, I believe it was.
Yes, Origins.
But also, it's very different because now it can't be at those events because they I think didn't like necessarily like they don't want people to show up to an event like Gen Con and play Destiny or play Unlimited every single day. So I think that's why they were trying to separate that a little bit, which like is kind of cool. But also like the reason I would go to Gen Con would probably be to play Unlimited. So like
Yeah.
if there's not like a big Unlimited presence, I probably don't go. But that's I'm sure that's more of a minority because it's a big thing there. But seems cool. How do we feel about prize wall coming back? How do we feel about
Oh
those,
yes, yes, yes. That's why I'm here, baby. Let's go.
because that was at Worlds too, right? The final Worlds with
Yeah.
the shield
Yeah,
tokens
yeah,
and
yeah.
the all
Oh,
arts.
Yeah,
whatever they were called.
I love that. I thought that was a great draw to not that because like if you think about I was gonna say Fab has like cash tournaments and stuff, right? Like I don't need any of that. I'm playing because I like the game. This is what I want, and I'm probably sure I'm in a very very small portion that's like, yeah, I want this over money because I'm stupid. But I really like the prize. I thought that's some great stuff last time. I like fiend side events to get all the stuff for the prize wall that I wanted. Like this is something that would get me to. I mean, I'm going anyway. But this is a great draw to something that like someone who's on the fence and doesn't want to pay $100 for a spot gloss of Emperor Palpatine from Destiny. Like
Yeah.
it's cool. I love it.
And I'll say I think the cash thing is actually pretty decently divided. But I'm on the fence of it. I think Fab has done it pretty well, and I don't remember a lot of issues with that. But I also don't really know what they do differently than any other games that do cash prizes for that. But it would be nice, but I would also view it as like I'm not going to the sector qualifier or Worlds or whatever to win $1,000. I'm going to Worlds, and if I win, that $1,000 will just pay for my trip type thing. And so that's kind of like where I would like cash prizes to almost like, it helps alleviate that. But if they don't do that, then they've really got to knock it out of the park with their prizes, right? There's something that you could resell, like I don't know, different type of spot glosses. They had some stinkers, like you went to this thing and they were worthless. Like there's power action tokens from Worlds 2018, like nobody wanted them, and those were top 8, I think. And it's just like, if your top 8 prizes, you can't give them away, like that's going to be an issue. Whereas if you make good prizes that people can sell to make part of the trip back, that's fine too if you're not doing cash prizes, but you can't mess that up.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, I'm a fan of the prize wall. Prize wall was at pretty much, was that both Worlds?
Do you remember
confused.
like people getting hyped as hell in the Discord when people were like, "There's a prize wall," and then you wait up for the pictures of the prize wall, and then you like zoomed in, like micro telescopic zoom to find whatever's on the prize wall. And you're like, "I want that. I'm working for that today. I'm working for this today. I want that."
One thing
it reminds me of.
Go ahead.
Oh, it reminds me like Chuck E. Cheese when you were a kid, like you go, you play, you get the tokens, whatever. You're like, all right, well, what am I gonna get with these few tokens?
Only you. In no world was my mind ever going to
my mind's Chuck E. Cheese.
I didn't think about Chuck E. Cheese at all.
Like
is that your
going
own
to play, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Dave and Buster's, like.
well, we're
Flock
Dave
thinks about
Buster's
Chuck
for
E.
like
Cheese
more of
once a
adults.
day.
I'm thinking like kid stuff. Like I don't know, it reminds me of being like a kid. I like it. It's like kid vibes.
The only time I ever got frustrated at prize ball is when they added stuff after the one that I went to was like the spot glosses. Like they started, they maybe started off with 6 or 6. It was like one hero and one villain of each color, and then they would progressively add more. And I get that, but also like we went to PAX Unplugged, and then it was like the next event they had the Obi-Wan spot gloss. I was like, I would have killed for that. That would have been so cool. And then now, if I wanted it, I had to spend $60 to
$100. Yeah, and that's
it also stunk when like they would not update it, and everyone got the ones that they wanted, and then we went to it. We got the spot glosses, and they weren't. If you wanted to resell them, they weren't worth anything because anybody that really wanted them, the price already dropped down because everyone's already gotten them.
Yeah, you gotta be the first.
It was kind of like a luckiness of like the event you went to was like there's a bunch of brand new ones, because if there was only like 1 or 2 new ones, you get that one, but like you probably want it. And then if you want to resell something, it's like, well, everyone has all the other ones already. It's not worth as much anymore.
I'm so excited for this game, dude.
Yeah, prize wall is a W for us. I wonder.
Man.
There's nothing bad with a prize wall, in my opinion.
I wonder how their Keyforge ones were ridiculous though. Like
what's Keyforge?
What's Keyforge?
Yeah,
what's
exactly. That? So I'm curious how crazy.
Is it a vending machine?
They go, dude. I mean, I'd buy packs. I'd buy swoo packs from a vending machine, bro. Yeah.
I would buy the whole vending
I'd be
machine.
a hypocrite, bro. I'd made fun of that so hard when it was Keyforge.
Oh,
That was swoo. I'm buying it out.
For sure.
All right, cool. So, planetaries, sector qualifiers, and then the final one that they have. Shout out to the new art right here. Actually, I want to copy this because I think I remember. If you copy the image address, it says Star Wars Unlimited Redemption Art Splash. So I'm curious if we get Redemption. Like, that's in the URL. So I'm curious if we get Redemption as a card. Anyways. Regional qualifiers. The pinnacle of qualifier events. We have the regional qualifiers. Very few of these events will happen each season, but the potential rewards for attending one are massive. Similar to sectors, regionals are a 2-day event hosted alongside several side events, but at a much larger scale with much greater prizing. You can also earn yourself more tournament points for high placement in a regional qualifier than at any other qualifier event. The tournament structure for regionals may also have 1 or 2 twists that are different from how sectors are run, but we'll go more into that at a later date. So this reminds me of Gen Con, of like LVO, of Nova, like larger scale events like that. Yeah, dude, I'm ready for Nova. I'm ready for
Nova again. Yeah. Oh my god.
I hope so.
I'm in. Like, there are so many other things I could do with my life, like find love, buy a house, find a better job. Should I have said that? But no, I'm gonna do this instead.
Your Palp Showcase card will never leave you. It will never hurt you.
Never. No. No.
Fingers crossed. Watch. Scroll down. That's looking pretty good, dude. Scroll down the article. You see that
That
pal?
is.
That's very good artwork for Palpatine. But if
That's
it's not
one on
him,
the map.
then you can settle for Vader and everything will be okay.
I can see that going on the map though.
Yeah, it does look fantastic. But yeah, so this is very similar to Sectors, as they mentioned, but bigger, better, more exciting, more points, more prizes, larger scale, I'm sure. Still a 2-day event. What really has me interested, I don't know if you guys have any maybe ideas of the twists that are going to be different from how Sectors are run.
Last place gets an invite.
Everybody just scoop.
Everybody
scoop,
gets
scoop.
one. Look under your seat. There's a world invite. Fill out your name and your info. I don't know. It could be a different format. It could be what if it's like I think Flesh and Blood have done, and I hate that I'm mentioning Flesh and Blood so much, but I think Flesh and Blood has done. Scott did one when we were down in Florida. It was a draft like qualifier to get into the event that like the day 2 of the event. It was at like 7 a.m. start, and he like last chanced his way into the regular tournament that we all fell out of the day prior. Something like that.
They've had crossover. Like I'm pretty sure they've had events where it's like 6-7 rounds of Swiss, and then if you make day 2, you start off with a draft, and then it's like a top cut of 8 or 16 or whatever. So
I'm cool with any of it. I mean, that's it just keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting.
Yeah, I am not as excited, but I know that's a personal thing. I just feel like I haven't loved draft for any game that I've necessarily played yet. But really, the only 2 that I've drafted was one time for Fab, I think, and then Destiny. And Destiny was not a good draft game. And Fab was fine,
Fab isn't
but
either.
like,
No, Fab isn't either.
Okay, so I don't really have much reference points to that to say, anyways. But like me not loving Fab in general, I feel like was what attested that to me. But
I'm a sealed enjoyer personally. I prefer sealed.
I did like that for One Piece, yeah.
It's kind of fun for draft. I did it once. It was like a 2-headed dragon for no, it was called a 2-headed dragon for Magic the Gathering. I did, which was kind of fun. So it's basically like, since this game can be like a 2v2, it's basically you have a partner and you draft together, and then you make 2 decks out of everything you draft, and then you play against other partners, which is a lot of fun.
Trust that you gotta have,
dude. It was actually kind of it was actually kind of fun because like
drafting a flock.
Because I forget if you did 1 or 2. I forget the amount of cards you would draft. It was 1 at a time. But like you would draft like, okay, this is for this deck. You would make 2. You would basically together make 2 different decks while drafting. It was a lot of fun, and I think that'd be a cool twist to do.
Well, you wouldn't make the same exact deck as each other.
So that you
draft 2 of everything.
No, generally
2 sets of everything.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't surprise me too if there was like a multiplayer type event as well, because they've kind of hit home at like, this game is made from the ground up with multiplayer in mind, like as well as draft and sealed. So I'm curious of that. And then even on one of the slides that they had at TwitchCon, which also happened this weekend, there was no real crazy new information that came out of TwitchCon, aside from some of the spoilers. But one of the slides said that there was like specific deck building rules almost for multiplayer. So that could be interesting as what we'll see. Maybe you can't overlap colors or something with your teammate, so who knows where that ends up being, or deck sizes are different and stuff like that. But yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me if there's a draft element in these regional qualifiers, or if they couldn't do multiplayer, I feel like, for qualifier, but they could have like a side event where you could get points or something like that.
It'd be fun doing. It'd be fun doing like a duel thing where it's like you could partner up with somebody and you both could go to day 2 or something.
Yeah, but like you can't, like, if the tournament starts and it's 7 rounds of Swiss to start, and then day 2 happens and you're like paired with somebody, like how are you gonna, what if we have the same exact deck? Am I gonna bring my whole collection every time I go to these larger events to prepare for the 2-player thing? Like, it would almost have to be like you and I sign up for the 2-player event well in advance, and then like when we're there at the tournament, we get that.
Yeah, or a draft together. I was more thinking like the.
Well, yeah, I guess you could do draft.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to draft. I don't know if I want my ability to win a regional qualifier dependent on me getting paired with somebody and us drafting together.
It's fun. It's different.
Yeah, that sounds like a great side event.
Side
definitely
event.
agree with that.
Side event. I would draft once a set at pre-release. That's it. I don't really care to draft. Like I said, I'll sealed all day, but like I'm not. Drafting just feels bad at a certain point.
I'll need to reevaluate as we get
Yeah, like
unlimited.
this game, I don't know. It could be fine. It could not be fine. But
But yeah, currently I'm a sealed enjoyer more than I am a draft enjoyer, but
yeah,
subject to change because I feel like my two experiences maybe were not the best.
I mean, constructed enjoyer at the top. But yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Cool. So that's regionals, and then they wrap it up with the information on the Galactic Championship, which is essentially Worlds. It is the biggest and the best event in the competitive play circuit. This event serves as the culmination of the entire season's worth of OP and is also the last event of that season. It is the only event in Star Wars Unlimited Play that is invitation exclusive. Each player who earned enough tournament points to qualify throughout the season is welcome and encouraged to compete. It is going to be a 3-day event, and only the players who do well each day advance to the next one. But if you earned enough tournament points in the preceding season to be one of the top scoring players on the leaderboard, you will bypass the first day entirely and automatically qualify for day 2. More details in the future. And so naturally, it is the biggest and the best prizes of the season. As with other type events, there will be prizes for both participation and placement. And as for tournament points, anybody who makes it to day 2 and beyond will earn themselves tournament points for the next competitive OP season. That means by doing well enough in one GQ, you'll kickstart your progress towards the next one. And then just like sectors and regionals, there's also going to be ample amount of side events with a prize wall. And for all the players who can't get enough unlimited, and the best part, these side events are open to all attendees. So if you don't qualify for the Galactic Championship, you can still go and have side events, have a prize wall, have a lot of the stuff, which was very similar to the Final Destiny Worlds in that regard. Like there was a lot of side events going on. I think most people just qualified anyways, but for the main event, but there were a lot of side ones going on. And so even if you don't make day 2, you have a chance to earn some points for that. So that covers Galactic Championship. And just a reminder that Sector, Regional, and Galactic are not happening until 2025. And even though it says it is an invite only, year 1 is going to be an open invite. It's year 2 and on that you must qualify with your points. And seasons last from Galactic Championship to Galactic Championship. So first year open invite, I think that's really exciting. I think that's a good way to build momentum. But yeah, I mean, they could have just said prize wall, main event, side events, and that would have hooked all of us. I feel like there's a lot of cool stuff there. Automatically qualifying for day 2 if you're a top player, then encourages you to go to more qualifying events. And like I said, I hope they find that right balance of those things, but also gives you a reason to really still keep playing too. Right, if you win your first regional or sector or whatever, and you qualify right away, then you now still have reason to keep playing because you could get enough points to qualify for day 2 at the Galactic Championship. So, how are we feeling about all this information on Worlds on the Galactic Championship?
Sounds good to me.
I'm glad it's an open invite the first year. That being said, my plan was to just GM planetary qualifiers until I made it in, So, but on a more realistic note, I'm probably just gonna be the guy over the side doing side events. I would love to make it into whatever, and I think they've made it very accessible for everyone, which is cool. But for those that don't, right? Like I know what kind of player I am. And it still sounds fun for someone who's gonna like O2 drop.
Unlimited's gonna be different, dude. You're gonna sweep the floor.
So far, so good.
You're killing
It's
it.
like I've opened my third eye. I really see
We'll see.
all the cards that are in my hand that need to be there at the right time. It's crazy.
There's no dice.
Well, it's been great going against Flock because the more cards that come out, the more opportunities he has to mess up his deck, and so he's successfully done that. And so it's been easier to play his Boba Fett deck.
Bro, it just gets worse with every spoiler. I'll try
So
this.
sad.
I think I'll try that. You should definitely try that. Try the mission. What's the card? The one where you pay 3
mission
and draw 2?
briefing.
Mission briefing. Put 3 of those in there.
Okay. I'll do it. I mean, I still think I Am Your Father is better, but whatever.
We'll have to find out. That's to test it out.
Although Mission Briefing's, I mean, I Am Your Father, I'm pretty sure I Am Your Father's the only villain.
It is.
Correct. We
Yeah,
only play
so-
villain.
It's got Vader on it. Yeah, you only.
But yeah, all that stuff sounds great. I mean, you guys were at 2019 Worlds, which this sounds a lot like, and I mean, I think that was regarded as one of the best events, if not the best event Destiny ever had. Prize Ball was great. Events going were great. Like, the atmosphere was a lot of fun. So hopefully they can match that. I'm expecting the first one to be in Minnesota. It wouldn't surprise me if it's that same convention hall. Or where was that exactly? I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember.
It was at their like convention center thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But then weren't we at the, we were in like a stadium almost.
It felt like a hockey stadium or like a basketball.
It wasn't
stadium.
their stadium. Yeah.
I know. Like to the left, it was like hockey. There was a hockey rink, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there again, and that was a really good spot. It was super easy to get to, So I would be interested if they moved the Galactic Championship around. I think that would be cool. I know some people have talked about wanting it to move to go to different countries and stuff like that as well, which would be interesting. Certainly, my wallet would be very sad, but it could be cool opportunities for those things as well. I think you're going to get the most people if it's somewhere like Minnesota for a more casual game, but I would like to see, maybe every now and again us going to Spain, going to France, going to Germany, England.
Stop it. I'll cry.
Ryan's
right
got his
now.
passport now, so he can go.
I
True.
will cry right now. They announced something like that. I'm in.
Well, first year open invite, my guess would be Minnesota in a similar place to.
Yep.
Yeah.
That.
Second one's gonna be in Spiel probably.
That would be cool. Apparently Spiel's like huge. Like obviously,
I think it's like
bias,
the
I have no
biggest.
idea, but
Yeah,
it's
I'm
bigger
pretty
than
sure
Gen
it's the
Con, I
biggest
think.
board game event in the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But they don't like doing that though, because then it detracts from
Yeah.
the whole convention.
Yes.
So they did mention that. So maybe it wouldn't be in something like that.
Because they would want you to go to Spiel.
Yeah. That you bought a ticket for is what they said.
Yeah. Which,
So,
yeah.
I would do it. That's the whole point. Like I'm a simp
Yeah.
for FFG right now. They can do no wrong in my eyes.
I did walk away from PAX Unplugged wishing I spent like maybe one of the days walking the floor and stuff like that. So I do kind of like this, but. All right, so that pretty much covers that. The article, a grand competition, is on FFG's website, StarWarsUnlimited.com, so you can go there, check it out. Please check out the live stream. But we have a few other little like goodies, tidbits that were mentioned on the stream as well. And these first two, I'm going to put them together almost. This game will be a best of 3, and there will be sideboards. How are we feeling? Let's start off with best of 3. Thumbs up, thumbs down, middle. How do we feel about best of 3?
Thumbs up for best of 3. I think the game is so swingy to a degree that like I think they even said it. You can't really get a good, accurate representation of what your opponent is with just one game. Because how bad is it going to feel if you go to these events, you travel however long, and you get smacked down in 5 minutes? A 5-minute match, best of 1, and you walk away going, all right, your mental's shattered for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
Some Sabine player, like, this is my first time playing.
This is my first time playing. I've got Tarkin down, I've got red, I've got nothing but red here, So I think best of 3 is definitely like it's a more of like a security blanket in your abilities, right? So maybe game 1 didn't go your way. And we can lead into sideboards with this, but like maybe you make some changes, you make adaptations, and then you come back swinging. You give your best fight. I like it. I think it's a good way to show off your skills.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I was originally like not really for best of 3s and not really for sideboards, but as I'm playing more and seeing these cards and getting more like in the competitive mindset, I'm thinking these games. I don't think we've had a game that really went longer than like 20-25 minutes, and that's like on the long
30 minutes.
That's on the long end. And that was when we were but like as the game goes on, they really shouldn't be that long. So I think in an hour we should easily be able to get 3 games done. And then the sideboard allows you to, even thinking about it, just like the what is it, the disabling Fang Fighter with the one play defeat and upgrade. Like that's something that's like you're worried about you don't have your deck with shields, and you are, well, I'm playing Luke, I'm screwed. You're like, okay, let me throw this in there, and I can have some sort of way to avoid it and not get spanked so hard. So think about that. It's like it does feel bad when you show up to an event and your deck is not flushed for certain decks and you get destroyed. Now you have at least a way to, have a fair fight or a more fun fight in a best of 3 with like a sideboard. So I'm kind of like slowly changing my mind on that aspect.
Best of 3, I only hate at weeklies. I hate
Oh no, I don't want that at weekly.
showing up. And we had to do it at Lorcana, dude. I had to show up
That sounds
on
not
a
fun.
Sunday in an open play league, and I had to do best of 3. I'm like, a homie. Luckily, like, there was one guy at the end who like needed one more game. He's like, anybody want to play? I was like, dude, only if it's a best of 1. Like, I will only play if it's a best of 1, and we did. And then I crushed his soul, and I'm sure that he wished he did best of 3. But I think best of 3, like, store championships and up. Like I'm,
Yeah.
I get it. Like, as soon as there's some type of stuff like that, I'm fine. But if like my store was just like, yeah, let's just do single ones, I would be fine with that. And maybe like the 2 weeks before a big event, we do best of 3s and sideboarding so people can get a little practice in and stuff like that. But yeah, I do think best of 3 is better. I'm just a little crybaby about not wanting to play best of 3s on a Tuesday night. Sideboarding, coming around on similar to Flock, didn't have the best experience with Flesh and Bloods because the sideboarding just got like so convoluted for me at times to where I wasn't enjoying it, because in Flesh and Blood there was a card and then there were 3 different versions of that card essentially. There was a red, a yellow, and a blue, and that had to do with the pitch count, which was what got you resources. So like if you wanted to bring a card in your sideboard, you also then had to bait of the 9, right? Because you could have 3 of it in your deck. So did you want to bring 3 red, 3 yellow, and 3 blue? Did you just want to do 3 yellow, 3 blue? Did you want to do 2 and 2? Like, so that got pretty convoluted. I like that this is just this of that, right? It's just, hey,
Yeah, I think it depends on how they go about, because they didn't really expand on the sideboard thing, right? That
Yeah.
adds a layer of complexity to the game that, like, I don't know if I necessarily want or need. The game is already, I think, fairly, decently complex enough. It's not a simple game. It's not an overly complicated game, but like adding a sideboard is helpful. But like if the rules are so extra for the sideboard, and I'd have to see the rules first. But I'm hesitantly accepting of it. But I was so bad with the Flesh and Blood sideboard, I had no idea what I was doing. I like got smacked up the first game, and I was like, I guess I'll put this card in and see how it goes, But I think it's different. I'll put a little more effort into this game than I did Flesh and Blood. Maybe. We'll see.
So speculation on this is that it would be a 9-card sideboard. I saw this pointed out in the main Discord. Is if you go to Gamegenic and you go to their sleeve packs, it comes with 61 sleeves. -1 for the leader, -1 for the base. That leaves you with 59 sleeves. So that would be 9 extra. Those could just be extra, right? It's pure speculation. Those could just be extra for it. But Gamegenic clearly knows what this game is and what is going to happen with this game. And so them including 9 extra sleeves it's a tad interesting if you ask me.
Well, is it really 9? Because the leader has to flip over, so it would probably be 10 card sideboard.
There's one clear.
It comes with 1 clear?
Yeah.
There's one clear.
Well, because you said minus the leader and minus the base. Well, the leader is double-sided, right?
Yeah, there's one for the base.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
so
not gonna have
if
to
you
bring
have
2 leaders.
what I'm saying is, if it's the sleeves that usually has like a design on the back, you would have to have a double-sided sleeve, unless those sleeves come with a double-sided one.
1 clear sleeve, 60 art and 1 clear.
Oh, it does come with it. All right, well, ignore me then.
It says 4 liter.
I tried to. Yeah, it literally says 1 clear sleeve, 4 liter.
Oh, well, I'm not looking at what you guys are looking. I just heard. My bad.
There, dude. Look at my Discord stream for you, dude. It's right there for you.
So yeah, I think that a nine card sideboard would be
Makes sense.
interesting, right?
Three.
Like I think that allows you to bring 3 separate cards that you could bring 3 of,
Yeah.
and slot them in. Uh, I think that's a much less convoluted option than like I'm bringing 3 cards, one of each pitch, and then it's much more straightforward, and
The-
that I'm okay with.
The equipment sideboard I did like a lot, though. I will say that for Flesh and Blood. I really like the fact that you could sideboard and bring different equipment for different matches, like Null Rune if you're playing against somebody who pings you for
Yeah.
Arcana. So that stuff was
That
really
made
cool.
sense. That made
Yeah.
sense, right? But then you've got the regular cards, like the 3-color pitch, just makes
Yeah.
all that so much more like.
Yeah, I think that was just me and
Sluggish.
you personally not vibing with Flesh and Blood more than it was our issue with sideboards. But it's hard because that was our only sideboard experience, right? We're
Game sucks.
still newbies at CCGs. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that is interesting for me. I would take that best of 3 sideboard. All sounds good. And I know that there's some people who don't love sideboards as much, and I get that. You're right. I'm kind of coming from that camp, but if I do think that you're talking about Galactic Championship, you really want the best player to win. You want people to be able to have the best amount of skill expression that they can have. I think best of 3 in a sideboard is it. And there's really no way around that. Like Flock said, like if it's all best of 1s, even going through the regular rounds, you could have a really good player just get unlucky round 1 and even round 2 and just get wrecked, and now they're knocked out of contention for making day 2.
Sure.
And best of 3 fixes that, and sideboarding fixes that. And it's funny because like some of the stuff was like, some people were joking in Discord, in some of the Discord, just saying, "I don't want a sideboard, just build a better deck." It's like, well, you kind of still are building a better deck. You just now have to think about a lot more of the possibilities of that too, and should be interesting. So I am excited for this new venture for me, even right of really embracing a sideboard rather than just running what Tommy and Scott told me to run in my sideboard in Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, sideboard's also, it's not one-sided, it's also two-sided. So
Accessory
even though someone else is, oh, my deck is countered, I'm going to add this to that deck. Well, the other person should be like, well, I thought about this matchup possibly, and they're probably going to put this in their deck, so I'm going to put that in my deck. So there's still a lot of the competitive aspect of doing the sideboard based off of your opponent and stuff like that, knowing what the possible matchups are. So I feel like a sideboard,
Sideboard, holy, this man's
yeah,
going deep.
dude, it's like chess. You got to think, five moves ahead.
Have
You can't even read.
I would say, have you even thought?
You don't need
one
to
step
read to
ahead?
play chess. You don't need to read to play chess.
Focus on thinking one step ahead in our current games.
Focus on reading the cards in our current game.
I'm thinking 5 steps ahead every move.
That's probably. Let's look at some spoilers.
Before we get to that, even also mention of set rotation. This is something that I think I was expecting. Currently, still the expectation will be similar to Destiny, where it's 3 sets in a block in a year, and you can have at most 2 blocks, so 6 sets at a time. And when the new one comes out, that first block would go. So 2024 will be the first 3 that we get that we saw. What was it? Spark Rebellion, Twilight of the Republic, and Shadow of the Galaxy.
No
I think
idea.
were the first 3. Shadow of the Galaxy was 2, I think. So those were the first 3. And then 2025 would bring 3 new ones, and then 2026, when that first one comes out, that would rotate this 2024's whole year. So then you go back to 4 sets for standard play. So that's still my expectations. If it's something different, they're farming W's by me. So if they do something different, I'll trust them on that stuff. So, but set rotation is coming. I think that's needed for a healthy CCG. Judge program, huge, massive W. As well. That's something that Destiny didn't have, and the people that were running in some of the tournaments, I think on the side, made a questionnaire that you could do, but all the questions were really simple, and it was a wild west, unregulated territory. So I think adding this will be really cool.
And some people capitalized on that.
Yeah, it's a shame. Do you guys have any interest in doing the judge program? Either of you?
I can't read, so no.
Could you imagine
thinking
if
about
I
it.
walked into you walk into a tournament
Plug
and
right
there's
out.
Tyler Flockton? Hi guys, I'm the head judge.
You see that thing for The Simpsons where the grandpa walks in, puts his hat on that thing, walks right around and puts his hat back on and walks
absolutely.
out? That was me if I saw Flock judging the event.
Yeah.
No, I thought about it when they were talking about this on the live stream. I was thinking I could get behind it. I kind of have a decent understanding of the game, and I think when it comes out, I probably know a little more. But I just want to play. You know, like I'd much rather. And I know there's people that would much rather like collect and enjoy and judge, and that's great. And people, we need judges. You know, to
Yeah.
protect the integrity of the game. So I think it's cool. I think they're just making all the right choices,
Yeah.
and they're simple choices too. Like they're you know,
No-brainers,
they're what you'd expect. Like we shouldn't be celebrating them for going, yeah, we're gonna make a judge program,
Yeah.
but we are,
Should have.
and that's great.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't begrudge them. I don't fault them for that because I'm not a game company. I have no idea, right? Like, but yeah, they're making the right choices. Choices that should have been done previously, but the right choices now.
We're here. Can't
here.
fix the past, but we're here.
Destiny suffered walk so the Unlimited could run.
Yeah, really. I think I'll do a judge. I think I could be a judge, but I would only go so high and do it so often. Like, I feel like I would stop
Locals.
at store, like, yeah, anything beyond a store. Like, even like the regional, the planetary qualifier, that store level, like, I don't even know if I would want to do that. Like, I think I would rather compete, but it also depends on how many, right? If I judge one because comic book store holds one, which I don't know if they would because they're very tiny, but, or Top Deck hosts it, and that's just one, and there's still a chance for me to go to 3 to 4 other ones, maybe I would do that. But, like, if there's only 2 of them per set and I would be judging one, like, I'm out. Like, I'm same as you. I'd want to play. I'd much rather play. And I would never want to go to sector, regional, or galactic and judge. I want to go to all those things and play as well. Unless it could be like something like Kappa Cup, like a player run event that's a little bit supported and stuff. Like maybe. But that's.
I mean, I think that we all have the capacity. Most of us have the capacity at locals. You know, when someone like leans over and is like, "Hey, like, do you think that I can do X, Y?" Like when we were playing One Piece and people had everyone had the knowledge that we can just say no, definitively this.
Yeah.
I think that's where my buck would stop.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, even as we went on too, people asked us at events all the time, even though we weren't the judge and stuff, because a lot of times there's just a store owner who's like opening up the rule book and like trying to figure it out and stuff, and it's just like, dude,
I've never run a never run a tournament in their life. They're like, oh yeah, what is this? The game that I'm 7 rounds into? What are we doing with this? You know?
Yep. Cool. So yeah, judge program, huge dub, and then we mentioned it earlier, but event locator on the website. So super good.
Can you talk about bans and erratas too?
Yeah. So with set rotation, they mentioned that they will do bans and erratas as they see fit, because they know that as good as their testing team can be, it's not as many eyes and hands on the cards as the entire world. So there's bound to be things that slip through, and they will adjust it. Hopefully, man, I hope that there's not a lot of erratas, though. I hate when the text on the card is not correct to what it is, like stuff like that. Like, drives me crazy.
Yeah, like when we came in and set 3, 4 for One Piece, there's already cards that have been changed. We're like, yeah, but it does this.
Yeah.
Oh, but it doesn't actually do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it makes it more confusing for players that are jumping into the game like a set or two into it. So
yeah,
but you know, if they have to, they have to, and I'd rather they do than let things get out of control and gross.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like Destiny's was pretty simple with like point costs. Like I feel like that was easy, and that kind of did feel bad, but like that's like one of the things that first jumps out at you at deck building on any of these websites was like, oh, he's not actually 17 for 2 dice, he's 18 for 2 dice now, and like that was kind of jump. But you know, when you started like errating stuff within the deck and changing cards that are in your deck is when it can get sloppy. So, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but you know, hopefully there's not as much of a case of any of that stuff. But yeah, and also shout out to Xander. He is now going to be our host. Josh did an excellent job. I was a little worried that it was him leaving, but he's still with us, and hope that we see him. But it also makes sense that he's stepping back because he's the lead OP guy, and he's got a lot on his plate looking at all the things that we just talked about for an hour. But Xander's great. Excited to see more of him. Have nothing but great things to say about all my interactions with him. So, yeah. I think that's all from the live stream.
I think so.
Anything else?
I'm hype.
Cool.
Oh.
All right, let's roll over to spoilers. We've got a decent amount to catch up. And the first one we've got Hans on here, but we have talked about him and played with him. He was officially spoiled more recently, but was leaked much 3 weeks ago or something like that. So who was his first one?
I'll do it.
Take it away.
Homestead Militia is a green 3-cost unit. 3/4 Fringe Trooper. While you control 6 or more resources, this unit gains Sentinel. Neat. That's all I gotta say about it. I think it's fine.
I'm not a fan. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
When you got to get to 6 by that, like for 3.
I mean, the only time you want it is like it's towards the end of the game, and you end up drawing it, and you're like, okay, well now it's kind of useful because it's better that you have 6. So, but it's kind of bad playing it when you have 3, 4, or 5, and you're not getting the actual, value out of the card.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice if there's like mechanic, like you could put this down as your resource, and eventually mechanic where you could play a resource card and you play that one. Then it might be okay. But right now,
then you would go back down to 5.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way.
Play or swap. That's only if you have 6. What if you have 7 or 8 and you're like, okay, I want to play it now?
Let me put it this way. I have not thought about this card.
You didn't even know it was a card.
Pretty much, I forgot it was there. It is one of the cards that exists, and I think in one of those green decks where you've got like Relentless and the AT-AT and all that stuff, like maybe it finds a home somewhere. But like in our limited set right now, like maybe I put this in like
I think it's draft.
Green Vader.
I think it's draft fodder.
But I'm not like it's not a 50,
Yep. It doesn't even have any of the good traits that you would want, like even like the Tarkin deck or something. Like it's green can go in there.
With the green, you're not
there's
gonna have
Imperial.
6.
Well,
Yeah.
Tarkin might, right? Tarkin might go to 6 because
Yeah.
you're also gonna run the spoiler we have in a little bit as well.
But at that point, like, I don't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
Flock.
Your
It's your
card?
favorite card.
Hey, yo, so Cantina Brigart. A 1-cost red, 0/3. Did I say it wrong? Why y'all
Yeah.
laughing?
Bragart?
Yeah, you did.
Brigart?
Am I Bragante?
It's Bragart.
It's Braggart. It's
Braggart?
It's Cantina
But the
Braggart.
first 3 letters is like bra.
Bro, learn the English language.
Like they're brawling.
It's a
whatever.
brag. It's a brag.
Bragart. Cantina Bragart. 1-cost red.
Still
0/3 Underworld. However, it has raid 2, which means this unit gets +2 +0 while attacking. I like it. I like it a lot. It's only really gonna be really good in like an aggro deck, so you're only really gonna use it when you're attacking. You don't really care about defending, honestly. Really, you're just trying to smash faces and do as much damage as possible to the base as quick as possible, and this fits in there pretty well.
I hear it's great in IG.
When you play it all correctly, yeah. Rightly.
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 It just feels bad that there's not even like a 1 on there. That's not like a 1/3 with a raid 1, because doing 0 damage back definitely
Kinda
feels
rough.
very bad.
But there's plenty of times where I played with it, I've done a lot of damage with it, so I still kind of like it.
It's not a card you can ignore. It's got weird breakpoints.
Yeah, it forces you to attack it, because if not, it could do a lot of damage. Because of 1 cost of 3 health is pretty good.
I love the art on the left. I just like him.
It's like a self-portrait.
He's my little guy. He's my little guy. My little kindergartner. I want to put him up on the fridge. As a little school picture.
So yeah, I mean, but I also think it'll get replaced by stuff that has more synergy with, like Sabine. If I could actually get like a 1-drop rebel, this gets dropped for that.
Oh, agreed. But right now, I think it's pretty good.
Where are those at?
Yeah, I don't know. We're waiting.
Where
bro.
those 1-drop rebel? I'm still waiting for the villain saboteurs. Where are they at?
Cry more.
I'm gonna cry more.
All right, next up we've got Lando Calrissian. These next 2 cards were spoiled by Unplayable. Be sure to check them out. Great guys over there. He's a 6-cost unit ground. He is a hero yellow. He has 6 attack, 5 willpower, and he is fringe and an official. And he has Saboteur. Sorry, Brad. And he has an ability. It says, when played, return up to 2 friendly resources to their owner's hand, and he's a rare. Interesting ability. I don't know how many times you'll be picking up 2, but it certainly could be nice to be able to pick up a card that you had to resource early. That's like a 1 or 2 of in your deck, and you can pick it up and play it still, even though you had to resource it earlier because you had it in your starting hand, but you knew you wouldn't be able to play it for 3-4 rounds, so it'd just be sitting there. So some fringe stuff like that, but I don't know. Don't particularly love Lando that much. I think I have him in my Han deck right now, just to if I can't get to 7 because you kill Han, I think Lando's a fine backup plan to drop at 6.
I think he's just as good as the Lando from Destiny. Do you remember the Lando from Destiny?
Vaguely.
Exactly.
That was a good analogy. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the Saboteur makes it nice. 6'5", a little sad. But yeah. Not jumping up and down over him, but he does make for some interesting plays with interactions in the resource.
Yeah, he's kind of forgettable. I think once the more of the set drops or the next set drops, Lando who?
Indeed.
My turn.
You got our favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Change of Heart. It's a 6-cost yellow event, a gambit. Take control of a non-leader unit. At the start of the regroup phase, its owner takes control of it. I hate cards that force the other side to touch my cards. And I think that's just like a weird, like, germaphobe thing.
I mean,
Anyway,
also...
back to talking about the card itself. No, it's awesome. It's cool. It's gonna feel really bad. I don't know if any of you watched the unplayable video from today, or was it today or yesterday or something like that. I think D House change of heart something, and then Mike waylaid it immediately. So D House lost all 6 of his resources, and then he waylaid it back to his own hand. I don't know. I think it's pretty expensive. It's for a non-leader unit.
It would go to D House's hand though.
I think that they had a conversation about that and said we're gonna play it back to my hand.
Because I'm pretty sure Gandork ruled that if I'd play Change of Heart on your DJ, if you kill it, it would go to my resource.
But I mean, so are you technically the owner? Because Waylay does say return a non-leader unit to its owner's hand.
You take control of it.
So if you take control of it, you're the owner. It would go to the owner's hand.
So let's look at Waylay for a sec. Hold on.
I literally just read Waylay.
Oh, you just read it. I don't
Return a non-leader unit
I don't
to
trust
its
him to read
owner's
it
hand.
myself. I still don't trust
But is take control considered owner though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, Waylay might be different because the
'cause-
Super Laser Technician just says you may put this unit into play as a resource and ready on the defeated. So there's no ownership for there, whereas Waylay is. So yeah, maybe Waylay is that way, but
Yeah, I feel like you take control of it, but you're not the owner of it. You're always the owner of your card. That's the way I'm reading it. But
All I'm saying
I'm
is
illiterate.
all I'm saying is be careful with it. It's a legendary. So clearly, I mean, it's the idea and the power are there. It's just a matter of timing. Timing's everything with this card. I think it could be really good.
yeah, confirmation owners whoever brought the card to the game.
Yeah. So
Waylay would go back to
Mike's
Mike's
hand.
hand.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't know. I think you can circumvent this pretty easily too. But I mean, it forces you to either, yellow can deal with it pretty easily, but things like green, blue, red, I think your only options are to kill your own card. So, I think it does introduce some interesting lines of play. So, it's definitely worth being a legendary. I think, and I think the cost is just right. It has to be.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Worth.
I like it a lot, especially if you can kill. If I play it, get control of your unit, and then I kill your unit along with the one that I just took control of in a battle. I just kill 2 of your stuff, right? And
yeah.
that's a pretty good trade.
Simple, clear.
The one I mentioned for the Super Laser Tech, I don't think that's ever relevant because if I have 6 resources, do I really care to take control of your Super Laser Tech and go to 7 for me and stuff? So,
Just don't forget your cards when you leave the game. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, seems fine. So I've been mostly testing this as a 2-of for now. I try to do like 3-ofs for all my deck, and then just like 1 2-of. Try to make it as consistent as I can. And just trying this in 2-ofs for now. I played it on Brian once. I took control of his Sentinel, but the game was lost at that point anyways, so didn't really matter.
Brian's too good.
Yeah, dude, he's insane.
I am very lucky.
I'm just glad we all are dunking on Flock, though. That's the most important part.
You'll keep on.
Flock, you got the next card?
Play something besides IG and Boba, dude. I'm telling you.
I did,
Broaden
Sabine.
your horizons. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
All right. So the next
red,
one,
yellow.
Yeah, the next one is Count Dooku. A unit, 7 cost, blue bad guys. He's a 5/4 force separatist Sith. Shielded. When you play this unit, give him a shield token. When played, you may defeat a unit with 4 or less remaining HP. That's pretty strong. I like it a lot.
This is my favorite card. Hands down. I don't know if it's the best card, but it's absolutely my favorite card.
I mean, that's a big swing for 7. 7, you get a shield, so you got to hit it twice or remove it. And then also, you get to defeat a unit with 4 or less remaining health. Now, it's also 4 or less remaining health. It's not just 4 or less. So, if you've done damage to something really big, you can kill someone's leader, too. Because it can be a leader if the leader has 4 or less remaining health. So,
Yep.
it's nice that there's that option. You could play around it to do the damage to make sure you get the most out of Count Dooku.
Card is humongous.
Yes, it's big.
I think blue sucks. But I almost think that Count Dooku makes blue worth running. In a lot of instances.
I don't think blue's as bad as you think it is.
I think
Or
blue
no.
sucks.
Didn't they say force is the strongest keyword? So, I mean, like, I'm guessing there's a lot of good blue cards.
Listen,
Well,
blue sucks right now.
Yeah. And there's also, there's really nothing that much anyways that does anything. Just it binds all things. Is the only
Entrenched
trait
is
thing.
kind of... Oh, force.
Oh, yeah, what he's saying.
I thought you were talking about blue in general.
But it is the second force on the villain side. The other one's Palpatine. Beyond leader, right? I know, like, Vader, I'm sure has it. I haven't looked at Vader in a while, but I'm sure he has. But, so, another force thing for binds all things and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, he's really good. 5/4 is a terrible stat line for 7. Absolutely poo-poo doo-doo pants. But, like you guys said, for 7, if you can play him, defeat a unit, if you can attack into something and just ping your shield off, but you kill that, you've now removed 2 things, and you still have a 5/4 on the board. I think that's pretty worth it. And I also think Takedown's a good card, and that's 5 costs. And that's a similar effect. I think Takedown is 5 for 5 or less remaining, whereas this is 4 or less. But similar effect. And, I mean, I think he's going to be really good. I think he won the game for Brian against Flock.
He did.
Killed that ATSD.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Cleared that board out.
Yeah.
Strong.
All right. Cool. Who's up next? Me. Next one, we have Bosk, the Deadly Stalker. He is a 5-cost ground unit. He is a villain yellow. He has 4 attack, 5 health. He is Underworld and a Bounty Hunter. He has Ambush, and he has, when you play an event, you may deal 2 damage to a unit, and he's an uncommon. Bosk is extremely good. Extremely good. I think that's a super valuable effect. He's not suffering that much from stats. Like, he's 4/5, which is still fine. He's got Ambush on him, which is a really good keyword so far in all the games we played. And then he just has that extra 2 ping damage, which can be really good. Your removal now can do 2 more extra damage to everything you're doing, and I like him a lot.
Yep. I like it a lot, too. You can
He
see
hasn't
it in,
hit
like,
the
a very yellow aggro.
Has
So
he
then
hit
you
the
do
board
like-
for us, or no?
No.
No.
But I could see it working when you have him out there and you're doing like a shoot first, something like that, where you're knocking one and knocking something else too. So like you can knock 2 things out at once if you play it correctly, which is I think very, very, very fun to do.
Yep.
You would. It's a Boba card.
True. When this thing got leaked, you guys texted me like, "I hate you
And then he proceeded to never win a game on Boba again.
Yep. I haven't pulled it. Yeah, I think I pulled it once by resource because like
Just
turn
missed.
1, it was like I couldn't use it.
Justice.
Yeah, he's really good, and he seems even like a card in any yellow villain deck you could just slot in and be okay. Like 5 isn't a lot of investment, and you probably have at least 9 events in your deck anyways. So
Yep.
That could be 18 extra damage if you play them all.
If he survives, yeah.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, if he's out there.
I mean, yeah, he has to survive.
Yeah,
but
and that's the thing too.
if he's doing the ambush too, I mean, it's
He's demanding removal though. Yeah, if someone plays him, you've got to get rid of him.
demands it. The Bright Hope is a green hero 4-cost space unit. It's a rebel vehicle transport 2/6. With Sentinel, when played, you may return a friendly non-leader ground unit to its owner's hand. If you do, draw a card. I think you played this against me once and then didn't get to remove anything to draw a card.
Correct. I was pretty behind, and then the Sentinel also didn't matter because then you're just like, I don't care about space. And then you played Dooku and Vader, and I cried.
Yep. Correct. And I was like, I could do 2 damage here, but I won't. I'll do it to Leia. Yeah, it's fine. Like I don't. It's no home 1. You know.
6 is huge though on
Pretty
space.
beefy.
Yeah.
It's pretty beefy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it does. It's fine.
I mean, I can see pretty cool like play where someone plays a unit and then you just slop this thing down and you say take it back to your hand kind
Flop
of thing.
it.
Yeah. So
Well, it's a
that
friendly.
unit down.
Remember, it's a friendly.
why did I read it as
Because you
enemy?
can't read.
Oh,
can't
wow.
read.
Because I can't read. Well, never mind. But I mean, it also could be something where like you want to play this with like Leia, where you can pull Leia back and then use her ability again. So
Yeah,
there are definitely
at a
ways
low
you can
cost.
do. Yeah, exactly.
With synergy.
So yep.
Yeah. Cycling, stuff like Akbar, stuff like Leia,
Akbar,
stuff like
yeah,
Fleet
yeah.
Lieutenant is all really good. And then also, a little spoiler for the next card, but vehicles gain ambush with Wedge, so it's like you can even keep cycling your vehicles and playing them and ambushing stuff in.
Yeah, we'll get to Wedge in a second, but I like Wedge a lot.
But yeah, Bright Hope I think is a fine card, but also I think Green Hero's struggling a little bit right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Need some love.
I agree.
All right, go next one.
Yes, sir.
Go next.
Oh gosh. So next card we have Wedge. He's a 5 green good guys. Rebel, a 5/5. And each friendly vehicle gets +1/+1 and gains ambush.
Huge.
Pretty
Huge.
great.
I said that I
Huge,
like
huge,
ambush
huge.
keyword, and he's giving all space units one. I like that.
5. Yep. Ambush and +1/+1 too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wedge is gonna be good.
Opens a lot of lines of play if you're, if your opponent is space heavy. Or not.
Well, I
you
mean,
know?
if you're space heavy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the ambush doesn't matter if you're not space heavy, though. Like if your opponent.
Oh, well, I was just if +1/+1, right? If you're playing a bunch of space units, dude. Imagine having turn 3 you play the Odana, turn 4 you play Wedge, bro, and you got Rebel space units out. They got +2/+2 on them, bro,
That's huge.
with ambush.
It's a shame Green Hero is poo-poo right now.
Yeah.
Space Hero. Space Green Hero is poo-poo.
But yeah, Wedge is good. I don't have any complaints about him. We like Dodonna, and Dodonna is a 4-cost 4/4 that gives +1/+1 to rebels. Wedge is a 5/5 that gives +1/+1 to vehicles and ambush. So
Yeah, I
dub
think
in my
Wedge
book.
has a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Haven't had the chance to hit the board. Every time I played him in the deck, I've never gotten to play him. I played Bright Hope, but I did not get to play Wedge yet. But all right. Scrolling on up. All right, I've got the 97th Legion keeping the peace on Sullust. They are ground unit, 7 cost, just 1 green symbol. They are a 0/0, an Imperial Trooper. But then the text says this unit gets +1/+1 for each resource you control. So it costs 7, so in reality it's going to come out at 7/7. And can go down or up depending on if you get more or less resources on that stuff. Draft fodder for me. I don't think this is very good.
Yeah, it's nothing special. Keeping the peace on Solace.
Yeah, I mean, it's not awful. I wouldn't mind it in some of the cool combos you can do with the like the Snow Trooper and stuff like that, because it is Imperial. So there are some Imperial keywords you can do with this, which I think could be good. But yeah, it could just be a draft situation more so. But at least you're getting 7/7 out of it minimum for the most part.
Exciting card.
Yeah,
I don't have
you can
anything to
tell
say about
by
it.
our voices.
I just don't. I can't. I'm trying to think of lines of play you could use to like.
There's no unique lines currently. I mean, Imperial and Trooper.
Play it on 7. It's a 7/7, and that's it.
Imperial Trooper's
Yeah.
fine. You can do the Snow Trooper Lieutenant, do +2. You can give an experience with Tarkin and stuff. But
Yeah.
currently, none of that is to me is actually like.
I wonder, would it be
That
good
good.
with like Krennic? Would it be good with Krennic?
Kind of, are you even like playing that many resources though?
Like-
I guess it depends how
Well-
you build Krennic, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Or Tarkin Green, I think.
Tarkin, you're definitely not getting that high.
No.
Tarkin in
Oh,
general.
well.
Well, the current Tarkin builds in that he is successful in right now is aggro, where he stops at 5.
Gotcha.
I play a little differently than that. I like to keep resourcing to the moon. You know, not always the right call, but I like playing as much as I possibly can.
To the moon.
And
Well, I mean,
having-
that depends
having
on the
all
deck builds,
those-
right?
Yeah, but I mean, if I can bombard the board with a little 1 cost, 2 cost, 3 costs, and then if I drop a bomb every now and then, But even this, I'm not like, oh boy.
Like for
So-
7, would you rather? I mean, I guess it's green, but it's like what other
I'm not playing an
7
ATS
cost would be? It's some of that stuff is kind of weird. I'd just rather play Dooku, different color. I know. But
Gladiator Star Destroyer is a 5/6 with sent. Oh, it gives you I don't know. This card is just whatever. I'd rather just hold off one more turn and play a Blizzard Assault AT-AT for 9/9. This card doesn't thrill me.
yeah. I mean, it's the worst of the 7 costs right now because it's Dooku, Mason, Han.
Oh, I'm 100% playing Dooku over this.
I know they're all different, right? 2 of those are hero, and then Dooku's in blue. But just
It's
comparison.
apples to oranges, but that's
Yeah, that's why I think it's a draft card.
How many resources do you think you're realistically going to get up to in draft? I don't even know how you resource in draft.
Same way you
Like-
do in standard.
Well, thank you. No, but I mean, I probably forget what I throw in there halfway through and be like, do I have another one of these? Like, is this good enough? Like, do I resource? Like, what am I looking to? I don't know. It's just gonna be a weird thing to. Just weird. Anyway,
Next card.
mission briefing. Is it me? It's me, right?
Yeah, it's you.
Mission briefing is a 3-cost event. Aggression. Choose a player. They draw 2 cards. It's like mid to bad.
Yeah.
There are other cards that do better things.
Card draw is good, right, in general, but in unlimited.
Destiny.
Yeah, Destiny. We're drawing 2 each time, so I mean, you're getting a lot of cards anyways. And essentially what this is doing, you're paying 3 to get a 1 card advantage, right? Because the first card you draw replaces this, and then you get the extra card. So, I don't personally love it. I mean, I do think there's a chance that you could see this because, again, card draw is just always universally pretty good. Just unlimited, I feel like it's not as good as comparable to other games because of how often we get to draw. So there's a world where you could run it, but even in my Sabine deck right now, I don't have it in there. And there's probably another card or 2 that I would try before I try this.
This is a draft card too, I think. Where you're just cycling. You're just cycling.
Is that our
That's
This card
the way
sucks.
it
We
is.
just
Out
let-
there.
draft.
Draft card. Draft
I
card.
will say I will take a shot in the dark here and say, let's pin this today, and when we're like 4, 5, 6 sets going forward, if it's in like some sort of like
I'm
mill
gonna forget
deck
about this in 20 minutes, but go ahead.
and like some sort of mill deck,
I was gonna
Where
say
you-
this is a mill finisher. Yeah.
like I could see this being a mill thing. So
Yeah.
I'll
Don't
do
even talk
3 to
about
make you
mill
draw
right now.
2, and I know I'm gonna make you discard 2 more. So let's pin this one.
Or it could do damage to the base, right? Because you take like 3 damage if you try to draw a card or something, and you have no cards
Yep.
to draw. So like if you
Yep.
play this when they have no cards in deck, they're taking 6 damage or however much it is. Yeah. So that is a funny thing to think about too. Yeah. All right, next one.
Card still sucks.
Bride's pissed.
Yeah, I don't know if it sucks, but I'm gonna go. Go
Yeah.
for now.
Mid to bad.
I like these next 2 coming up though.
Me too.
All right, so we got General Tagi. Is it Tagi or Tag? I don't know English. Is it Tagi or Tag?
Toggy. Soggy, bro.
Soggy doggy.
General Soggy Toggy.
Well, apparently everyone knows the name, but I don't.
It's
He's
Tagi.
a 2. Is it Tagi? Okay.
Yep.
He's a 2 green bad guys, a 2/2 Imperial official, and when played, give an experience token to each of up to 3 trooper units. Stop laughing, Brian.
Soggy Toggy.
Stop
Soggy
laughing,
Brian.
Brian.
He's a
It's the
concerned
shenanigans from before the game. Like
This is the guy. Isn't this the guy in the art that gets like choked out? Right? He's like yelling about the old Force ways, and then Vader just comes over and chokes him.
talking about
Is that this guy?
witchcraft.
Is that this guy?
I think so.
Yeah, because I remember there was a guy that's like yelling at Vader about his like the old Force ways, whatever ancient thing, and then he gets choked out.
He's a concerned
And
commander.
he's like, and he says like, I forget, don't choke on something. I forget what it was.
That's in Rogue One. Don't choke on your aspirations.
That's
Or retro.
that's the Rogue One. Oh.
I just watched it.
He says something to him that's funny, but whatever.
Don't underestimate probably the power of the dark side or something.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's funny.
I find it funny because the bad guys are good. It's all right.
Bro, there's
I
no
mean,
way
yeah.
that you look at stuff at like 97th Legion, you're like, this is pretty good, and then you look at stuff as Soggy Toggy, and you're gonna tell me
Toggy.
I still am not convinced by experience tokens. I don't know. I guess I need to play and get spanked by
Huh?
it more. But
Huh?
I'm not worried about experience tokens. I can just waylay it, or I can just
Yeah, I only
asteroid
play yellow
sanctuary
red
it.
villains, so I'll just
Like-
play all every.
like, I'm not
removal card
worried
in
about
the
it.
game.
Give it all
I
those experience tokens and like bye, go back to your hand.
Look, Brian
I think
walked into
Toggy-
that once and has never done it again.
I know he's learned his
Yeah.
lesson.
I learned my
Holy-
lesson.
Yeah.
Never do it again. I think this guy's pretty good. I think this goes in Tarkin, hands down.
Yep.
I think this card or the next card go in Tarkin, and I think this even goes in possibly Krennic, if you're playing a green Krennic, beef 'em
yeah,
up,
which I mean, there's
beef 'em
something
up.
to explore there. Like it kind of, I mean, I guess 2 of the trooper, right? Death Star trooper, and then lieutenant are. One of the snow troopers is red. I know that. So you would lose Death Star and that. Red, I think it's the
The
overwhelm
Snow
one.
Trooper lieutenant. Yeah.
The one that
Mhm.
gives you +2 on an Imperial attack is just villain, I think.
Yes.
But so like you lose access to those 2 red ones, but blue you get access to just Death Trooper right now
Yes.
for troopers. And Death Trooper is really good. So I mean, giving experience for that is good. But I mean, I think Soggy Toggy is going to be good. I mean, even if you play him for 2 and you only give out 1 experience token, I think you're a little sad. But if you play him at 2 and you give out 2, you're fine. If you play him at for 2 and you give out 3 tokens, you're going to be very,
Huge.
very excited, right? Like if you ready, turn 1, you play Stormtrooper. Turn 2, you're at 3 resources. You play another Stormtrooper, and then you give all 3 of them an experience token.
Bro, Callus too counts.
Is he a trooper?
Trooper. Yeah.
Imperial trooper. Yeah. I mean, I think that's such a good ability. I think it'll be really good.
Yeah, I think the Legion is better. I think the 97th Legion is better. Soggy Toggy.
All right, we'll go to the next one to spare any more of the names for that. But
Oh, so I did quickly Google it before anyone freaks out. So it wasn't General
I'm already
Tagi
freaking
that
out.
lipped off. It was actually who was it? Admiral Mahdi.
It was Mahdi, okay.
It was Mahdi that lipped off to him and got choked out, not General Tagi. I know
Oh, it
someone's
does.
gonna.
It's the whole force choke.
Lift off.
Yeah.
Force
Sorry,
choke Mahdi.
sorry. That was my bad. I had to Google because I figured something was wrong with it.
Yeah, we're done. I do need to rewatch all the Star Wars soon. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I just started episode 4 today, actually. So
All right, next one up is a 2-cost ground unit, seasoned shore trooper. Absolutely fantastic art. It is villain green. It is a 2/3 Imperial trooper. While you control 6 or more resources, this unit gets +2 attack. Like it. It's got the keywords that matter. Imperial trooper. Still like that 6 resource thing is a little weird. For me, I mean, Tarkin, I think, wants to stop at 5. It can go up to 6 just to benefit from this, maybe, and so it can play 2/3 costs and stuff. But I like
good
it.
for Green Vader.
I think it's good. Yeah, Vader's going up there anyways, so I mean, he could be a solid base.
Price is right.
Because once he's a 4/3, right? That for 2 is good. But 2 for 2/3 kind of feels weird, right? Some of the other like 2 costs are curved a little bit above that or have something to compensate for that. Like the Rebel Pathfinder's a 2 cost and a 2/3, but he has a Saboteur, right? Then the Alliance X-Wing is just straight up 2/3, but again, that's space. Probe Droid's a 3/2, right? So there's stuff that's above that, but yeah. Anyway, so I mean, when you get that +2, he's great. Until then, he's kind of borderline on curve.
All
for
right,
stats.
yeah. I like him though. I like the card a lot.
Yeah. Next one up.
Yeah.
Academy Defense Walker, a 6-cost blue ground unit, vigilance villainy. 5/5 Imperial Vehicle Walker with Sentinel. When played, give an experience token to each friendly damage unit. This is a Krennic card.
Neat
For
little
sure.
trick you can do with this if you play the rare base that lets you give 6 or more cost unit, or 6 or less, or if you play Piet, which he's 6 or more. Unit that gives it ambush. If you give this ambush, it can enter play, kill something, take damage, and then it's when played effect will trigger, and you can give itself an experience token.
Ooh. I like it even before that little magic trick.
Yeah, I
think
saw
it's pretty
Gandork say
good.
that in the rules question earlier today. And yeah, I mean, I think that's neat. Blue, you still want to see a little bit more stuff that like can live and to proc this off of, because right now you think like Death Trooper's great, right? I mean, and that still is, but there's still not like a whole lot of synergy to like beefy units that can take a lot of damage and then you buff them up with some other stuff. It's not quite there yet, but if there's more cards like this, that's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
I gotta revisit Krennic with this.
Yeah.
This is a 3/0.
Yeah. I think you slot this in. Yeah, 3 for.
Yep.
For now, and it'll get better as the deck gets more fleshed out. And it's another vehicle on ground. I'm gonna start running snow speeders, bro.
I'm still not like 100% sold on Krennic as a concept right now. Just because of that reason, there's not a ton of high health. Everything in this game, I feel like, not everything, but most of the stuff in this game does a decent amount of damage back, right? Like trading is hard to do, where you're still in a good place to be like, I'm going to use Krennic's ability to get a +1 off my damage units. Most of that doesn't survive. So I think he's in a weird spot right now. But
yeah, you might have to actually run some of the healing stuff, a little bit more. You might have to run Surgical Droid. You might have to run whatever that 1 cost 3 is. Yeah, repair. So
Repair.
I don't particularly love either of those things, but
No.
if you want your stuff to
odds
like
up your hand.
continually get value, that could be an option to see. But yeah.
Yep.
Next one. I'm excited.
Green. Oh my gosh. Green Squadron A-Wing. A 2-cost unit. Red good guys.
Queen.
A 1/3.
Squadron A-Wing.
A
Like
1/3
Soggy
Rebel Vehicle Fighter with Raid 2. So this unit gets +2/+0 while attacking. Yeah, I think it's good. You're gonna want it in like a red Sabine aggro deck. You're getting that raid 2, which is +2 on attacking, which you want to do, and better than the Brigate, the Cantina dude. You are at least getting 1 damage on return, so you have some sort of defense, at least some sort of damage back. But it is a 2 cost, so that's the one thing different. But yeah, I like it.
I think this is insane. I think it's a really, really good card. I think even if you're not running an aggro, like go fast deck, like I think if you just have red in your deck, you play this probably. Essentially a 3/3 in space is huge for 2.
Yep.
Huge. Because you better have answers for space. Like if I'm playing you and I'm running this and I drop this, you need an answer for this. Because for 2 and this constantly doing 3 to you, it's real good. Real
Yep. Yep. This doesn't get answered by like a regular TIE fighter too. Like you're gonna need a decent unit
Imperial
if you're
Interceptor.
against. Yeah.
Which in canon, isn't that like the direct counter to it as well? Or something?
I don't know. Probably.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, to me, this is awesome. It's Rebel. I don't think we've seen any fighter stuff yet. It's still got 1 base damage, so it can at least ping damage and stuff if it gets attacked while it's exhausted.
Yep.
So yeah, huge W for me. Excited to put this in Sabine and do more damage to you.
Definitely.
All right, so that's all the spoilers. We're all caught up. Hopefully, we keep getting more in the coming weeks. You know, we've gotten only 3 this week, I think. Right? No, we've gotten 5 this week because we got mission briefing from the Twitter, Facebook stuff, and we got Soggy Toggy and the Shore Trooper, and then we got the 2 from the stream.
I'm so sorry to the community for putting that out there at all.
Soggy Toggy.
Soggy Toggy. That was group effort on me and Flock's part, I guess.
It will never die. Never, ever die.
Soggy Toggy.
So hopefully we keep getting more. I think the way it's mapped out, last I heard, I think Inception had said it was like 7 a week would be on pace to have the full set revealed by launch, and I'm sure there'll be some weeks that'll have more, some will that have less, right? I doubt like Christmas week we're going to be getting a bunch, so, you know, maybe some front load, maybe, you know, like at PAX, like at TwitchCon, you know, that's when we got Dooku and Bosk. And then we got Wedge and Bright Hope, I think, at the end of that.
Yeah,
I couldn't
where
watch
is this
the
from?
last stream of that. I only got to watch the Dooku one. Wait, I think I can click on it and it doesn't need a list. Yeah, previewed by FFG stream. So cool. Yeah, all that stuff is exciting. Excited for more cards. But we're going to jump into some listener questions, listener mailbox. Excuse me. We've got a few different places that we get these, so I just want to make sure we read them all. First one is Dan Orr, and he says, "Why didn't you answer my last question?" And I don't remember what his last question was, but he always comes up with the most ridiculous questions.
Yeah, which one was it?
Because Dan has been trolling all of our posts saying every character is his favorite, and he's so glad they're in the game. Like, I think when they spoiled Ezra, and his comment was like, "I love that they're bringing more villain characters." So Dan's got some stuff going on. J Rod says, "Why is Jack so sexy?" That might be the first Jack one right there. Normally it's Brian.
Normally it's Brian.
I'll relinquish this time.
Oh, really? All right, so we've got a few from Joe Maslati on Twitter. He's mostly interested in our take on sideboard and best of 3, which we talked a little bit about, but you know, I think all 3 of us gave thumbs up to both aspects of that, sideboard and best of 3.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like maybe I'm like that, like middle thumbs up, trending upwards for sideboard, but it's more so I need to experience that in Unlimited. I feel like the one time I did it, I feel like it was the game that I didn't necessarily enjoy rather than the sideboard. I do feel bad that I keep ragging on Flesh and Blood. I don't think it's like a terrible game. I just didn't love it.
I don't.
Yeah.
More.
But yeah, so I think we're all excited and optimistic for that. And he also asks, at the end. Oh, so he follows it up and says, I've never played a TCG with either and curious to hear some opinions on that. And we did talk about that a little bit in the beginning, but I do think it is something that might be a little daunting at first, but I think you'll get more used to it and you'll at least appreciate the best of 3 because you'll get more chances to play your deck right and not get rolled over by some, bad luck. And then sideboarding, I think you just get enjoy.
Sorry, I think the more you play it, like the more you'll understand what you want in your sideboard. Right? The more matchups you play, the more matchups you lose. I think you learn more from your losses than you do your wins almost. What
That's
you
life,
can,
baby.
what you can tell me about it. What you can support yourself with when you lose and what makes you a stronger, more solid deck.
Yep.
So
and then he follows up with more question for deck building and says, will mono be viable? Which color gets you the most excited to run mono? I think it'll be hard this first set, right? But as sets go on, right, if we talked about the block and set rotation like we did, if there is 6 sets in play, I think mono decks could definitely be a thing because there'll be a lot more cards. Whereas like first set, mono of a color is going to be a little bit harder to pull off just because you only have so many of the 252 cards that could actually fit into that. But
yeah,
I do like these mono cards though. Like I like these aspect cards. Like in mono, it's just the issue is I don't want to pay 6 for it, and I don't want to run mono right now. So that's more so my issue.
Yeah, I'd agree.
If I had to pick a color right now to run mono, I think I'm going green. I think I'm going villain.
Yeah.
If I had to pick one.
If I had to pick, it'd be red villain.
Red would have been my other one.
I've already got an IG-88 deck I just want to mess with just for fun.
Yeah.
So is it going to be good? No, but I want to try to get aggression out there. Use that card maybe once and just see how it feels. If it does a good swing on the gameplay. So I just want to play that just to see how it is. So that's what I'm going to try.
I think I'm also red villain with Vader.
Oh, like if you had to run a mono.
Yeah. But also,
I do think red villain's pretty decent for position for mono. I still don't think either are necessarily great, but I think green and red villain are two of the better ones.
I'm more fleshed out than the others. I think that make it a little more easy. I think overwhelming barrage in anything is good to go. Solid deck.
Yep, that's a good card. All right, cool. I am excited to play more, and I do want to try more mono decks, but that might come closer and at release when we have the full playset. But next up, we have Lightsaber Larry. Love the name. And they ask, how would you like to see leaders handled with set rotation? Rotated with the set as well, or maybe reprinted for unlimited, in quotes, use?
I'd just like to see new iterations of them. Honestly, how Destiny did it. I think that there are enough potential builds that you could slap on each leader. Like, I don't want to see them fade into existence, and clearly you're not going to with like iconic characters like Vader and Luke being in the first set. They're not just going to go away. You're not going to not be able to play Luke and Vader in this game, I would think.
Yeah, like between the whatever sets are legal in standard, there probably is going to be a Luke and a Vader in some form.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I imagine they'd probably, well, they said with rotation, so that makes me think they're not going to do a Living Legend thing like Flesh and Blood. I think it'll just be like Destiny was. And yeah, when this set gets rotated out, I think these leaders will probably just go with it. I think there will probably be like an unlimited format. Like Destiny, there was unlimited, there was standard, and trilogy. Unlimited was every card in play. Trilogy was like the current block. Standard was all the 2 most recent blocks. So yeah, I mean, I think they'll go with it, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's another type of format that exists within the game that you can still use those leaders with. But yeah, like Brian said too, like, if this blue Luke and red Vader get rotated out, wouldn't surprise me if there's a green Vader and a yellow Luke that are currently in play.
Different iterations.
Yep.
Different time periods, I would say. Well, Vader's, is.
If Vader's a little hard to...
Maybe him on the bridge of a Star Destroyer.
Yeah,
where he's commanding presence.
Hear me out. Luke, green lightsaber, all black, aggression. I'd be so hyped for that. I feel like that would look sick.
Luke, green lightsaber on the deck of Death Star 2.
Yeah, this one. It's,
Yeah, yeah.
and
With
he's an
his
aggression.
his
Yeah, the thing like half.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
That'd be
pretty
sick.
good.
Cool. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's how rotation of leaders will be used. I think they'll just go out with the block, but there might be other formats for that. So yeah, we're gonna then hop over to Discord. Banana Crapshoot from Saga asks, how many sets do you think rotation will be? So, like we said, right, 3,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like 6 in total will be the max at a time, and then next one will
I
come
think
out.
Destiny
the
got
first
that
few.
just right.
Yep.
Yeah, that felt good to me.
I
Cool.
agree. Easy peasy.
Sweet.
Sounds good. And then we've got a few from Jedi Geek Girl from iRebel Gaming, and the first is for set 2. Which 3 characters would you have for the pack covers? So for this, what is it? It's
Spark Rebellion, right? It's
Thrawn,
episode 4.
Chewbacca unit,
Yeah.
and is it Leia?
Yeah. Leia's on there.
It's the 2-cost Leia, right? Or is it the leader Leia?
Yeah. I don't think it's a leader.
Oh, I
You
thought
could
you were
look, I
looking
don't-
at it.
No, I don't think it's a leader. No, I just remember it being Leia.
Gotcha.
It is, yeah, Leia, like the showcase Leia.
Oh, it is
Oh, I'm
leader.
sorry.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's leader.
No, it's
Leia.
leader
In front
Leia.
of- It's part of
It is
the
leader Leia. Okay.
on Hoth. Unit Chewbacca.
Okay.
and
Yep.
Thrawn in whatever capacity. I'm looking at the article now.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be leaders, but I think like you're talking scum and villainy next set.
I'm thinking like Talzin, Iden.
Dude, Iden might be here in this one. There was the Game Genic slide
Yeah.
from Spiel, and it looked like that was going to be a blue villain Iden.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it's gonna be Talzin. It's gonna be
That's
Django
interesting.
Fett. Django
Blue
Fett's gonna be
villain.
on there.
Yeah, I think Django would be one.
Yeah,
I still
Django
think a
be
blue
good.
villain is like Sith from Destiny.
Oh yeah. Like I have that locked in my mind a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm like Iden isn't a Sith. Okay, so back to the question on the packs. Good God, what was the set called again? Sets,
I literally
it was
just
going
said
to
it.
be Shadows of the
Shadows.
Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
So
Jabba.
Cad
Ooh,
Bane?
Jabba.
Ooh, Cad Bane would be a good one.
Cad Bane,
Cad Bane would be fantastic.
and
Who are,
then
like, some of the
maybe
heroes?
like Aura Singh. Oh, you have to put hero in there
That's
too.
what I mean. Dude, that's what like when that set comes into mind, I'm just thinking like all
Quinlan Voss.
all villains. Quinlan could be interesting.
Yeah.
Quinlan could be interesting.
Asajj could be
Or-
interesting. You could have Maul in this one as well, right? You could have Maul as the Syndicate leader.
Maul be cool. Yeah. Kira from Solo, baby.
Ooh, that would be cool to have her.
Dryden Voss, Beckett.
It's still just,
I'm thinking
all
like
villains.
Solo.
I can't process any heroes.
I don't know. Beckett's
Villains are the
Beckett's
best.
morally gray, you know.
Hondo.
Kira's morally gray. Hondo.
So yeah,
Hondo Naka.
I'll go Hondo. I'll go. I hope they make an Ezra and his title is Jabba the Hutt. Side note.
Dude.
So,
Yes.
I kind of want that.
What about
Yes.
Inquisitors? Shadows of the Galaxy could be Inquisitors.
Yeah.
That too. I when I think of Shadows of the Galaxy, I don't think hero. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm struggling to think of any of stuff. So I'm gonna go Ezra. I'm gonna go Ezra as a leader. We're gonna get him as a leader next set. He'll be the one for that. And I'm gonna go Cad Bane and I'll go Hondo. Those will be my 3. But yeah,
That's a tough question.
I know.
Jedi
Yeah,
Geek
dude,
Girl,
we
that's
thought
the
of
toughest
like
question.
we thought of 50 villains instantly, and we're like,
And Ezra.
heroes.
Oh, what about Obi-Wan on that one mission where he goes dressed as the
Oh yeah, he like
Except-
transforms or whatever.
Yeah.
To do the
Yeah.
test thing.
Shadows of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
That's tough. Or Anakin when he's a slaver. They can stretching out the Clone Wars, you know?
Yeah, I'm even trying to think of like who are some of the yellow like heroes. I know and like Destiny didn't necessarily transfer over, but like Sabine, I guess, but now we get Sabine already. Lando could be one. I feel like Lando would be a decent hero.
I just keep forgetting about Lando. Cyan Ree.
Yeah. I wonder if we could get stuff like
Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan, yeah. And little Annie was a yellow hero in Destiny. Cassian was there.
It's working.
Yeah. But yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean all those. Oh, Chewbacca. The Ewoks were yellow, Brian.
Chief
Ewoks.
Chirpa. Chief Chirpa.
Chopper. Got Han Solo, Wicket.
Chopper's a
Ewok.
war criminal.
True. All right. We've thought plenty of people for that. Second question is, what set do you think we'll see characters from the Jedi series?
Clarify that. What do you mean by the Jedi
Is
series? Like,
Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order? Is that what? That would be my guess.
Oh, I was thinking the Tales of the Jedi, like the Yaddle.
Bro, I'd be down for Yaddle instantly.
Yaddle.
Yeah, I guess it could be
Yaddle
Tail,
and,
but I feel like she was at Tails, not just from the Jedi series. So like Cal Kestis and
that'd be cool. I'd love BD.
judging.
I love BD from that series.
I mean, maybe they could even fit into set 2, right? I don't know. Like Cal Kestis, like could be a vigilance hero for next.
Seer could be.
Yeah.
Grizz.
I still haven't finished the second game though, so
Me neither.
I
know
haven't
any
played.
of this
I haven't played either. So.
but I think, yeah, I think you could get him next set, if not maybe into the next 4 or 5. Because Twilight of the Republic, I don't think they would make it into that.
I think they have more, and I've said this about One Piece, where they've put out characters, and I'm like, oh, they're definitely gonna put this character out before they put this character. You know, like they have to do like the prequels before they do offshoot. Like it's canon, but it's not like, you know, prequels and sequels before set 6. That's my guess.
I think it would be. I don't know. I hope it's before that. Because I like it, like how they would do, and how they are doing this. That it's just like they're picking a time period and then taking a bunch from that, rather than just putting like the straight popular characters in there. Like I like that Sabine is one. Sabine's not like the biggest character of all time. You know, she finally just made it to live action.
There's some great characters in those games, though.
Yeah, definitely. So my hope is set, maybe a few of them in set 2, but maybe a bigger scale in set 4. And then her last question is, Shot in the Dark, what do you think the point requirements for Worlds will be after the first one, since that's open invite? And where do you think the first Worlds will be? For me, she thinks it'll be in Minnesota, but after that, it will be all different locations going forward. How about us? I think we're all in agreement. We all said Minnesota for the first one. Point system, oh gosh, I couldn't even. It's 20 Stanley Nickels for a direct
5
invite.
fruit bucks.
Yeah. I mean, I guess how does it break down? Almost like, I don't know. You win the planet. What was the bottom one? Planetary.
Yeah.
Event.
Planetary qualifier. Or planetary.
Yeah, planetary qualifier. You win that, and you get an invite. So maybe it's like 2 top 2s. Then also get you the invite in regards to points, and then like I wonder if it's going to work out that way type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it also said based off attendance too.
Yeah, for some of the bigger ones, yeah, the events.
Yeah, because I would obviously assume that like some of the other ones, like the regional qualifier, sector qualifier, their points for winning would be more than like the planetary qualifier or even the store, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
But we don't know any of that stuff yet, so
yeah,
tough to tell.
Yeah, planetary. They said the winner is going to get exactly enough to go, and the ones after that. So it seems like planetary might not fluctuate a lot, but yeah, sector and regional, they both said.
Yeah.
Will change based on the attendance, especially sector.
Yep.
So yeah. I mean, it's hard to say. I think it'd be a few hundred to get in there. Like I don't know what they would quantify some of the stuff by.
1 million.
It could be anything. I wouldn't be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised at what they say each placing is worth, too. I mean, it's all relative. So I'm sure it's not going to be oppressive and impossible. And if you show up to enough things, if you like the game and you want to play at things, I'm sure that they're not going to make it so that you're not you're not able to show up to these things, right? Like, I don't think they want to be uber exclusive,
Yeah, I think it'll be however the points fall out. Wouldn't surprise me, like planetary qualifier. If you come in second, like 2 or 3 times, you get enough points that way. If you get top 8,
What?
If you get top 8 like 8 times,
You come in second.
I got like
times.
top 2 a bunch. I have so many of those like was it it was the Kylo Ren, the Raylo.
Yeah.
I had like 4 or 5 or 6 of them. I started giving away the mats.
Remember
Yes,
when we
thank
played?
you.
Remember
No,
when I
I
played
didn't-
and you were there?
I didn't play. I didn't play.
Playing?
I just
I
watched.
think you played solitaire. And
I just
fucking fell
I just
asleep.
watched.
I was on fire that day. Even Minion, the judge, was just sitting there. He just like checked his phone. He was like, "Jet, let me know when Flock plays."
Yeah.
It's like your Sabine IG game.
Yeah.
A little PTSD there, fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we got our last question from Stinger. It says, how many boxes/cases is Brian really going to buy? And whatever he says, we should double it or triple it. I feel like ever since I said Rebel Spy bought 4 cases, Brian's had that in the front of his mind.
I've been crunching the numbers, and I will tell you that like I said before, I have dreams and aspirations. That's a lie. I have things I could be doing that are more than SWU, and I think I'm just gonna pile all my money into SWU. Realistically, I think for the first set, probably 7 boxes. 7 boxes to start.
7 boxes right off the rip.
Yeah, right off the rip. Right off the rip. And then I think
Plus
from set 2 we
pre-release?
scale down from there, or plus pre-release plus pre-release plus probably one more pre-release, and then
Yeah.
I think we go Saturday, Sunday,
Well, they can be held all throughout the week.
and then Thursday before.
We could
If we
do
can find one.
so if it starts on the 1st, that's a Friday, right? So we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we do Monday,
Mhm.
Tuesday, and then we do Wednesday, Thursday, and then we pick up our case on Friday. $30 each day, guys. Let's go,
I just take that whole 2-week span off
dude. That'd
for
be
logistics and
if we do 4 of them, bro. That's like we got a box.
I'm in.
A box before.
That's your
our
7th box.
boxes.
Listen,
That's
that's
your
your
7th
box.
box right there. Yeah.
You don't have to talk me into it. I'm probably gonna, No, I think it's safe to say, realistically speaking, a case plus 1 is what I'm going with right now. Set 2 could definitely vary. It's really a matter of pull rates and what I find in the first set that would determine what I want to do. But
And
the
what-
answer
yeah.
that I think you're looking for is probably 4 cases, and then I triple it.
Yep.
The calculator
we're
was
all over that
opened,
for it.
and that definitely gave me a little bit of a fright, So maybe I don't. We'll see.
And Eldest just snuck in a question as well, and he says, "What are your favorite decks so far?" I think mine still has to be Han Aggression, although I did enjoy Sabine in the last play session.
I feel like I'm boring, and I'm just gonna say Vader, but I don't know what Vader I prefer the most right now. I've also quite enjoyed Tarkin once I understood how best to play him.
Once you didn't walk into a waylay
Yeah.
with
No,
3 experience tokens.
if I play correctly, I think Tarkin is very cool. It feels very powerful, but I'll say Vader
Yeah.
for now.
I gotta go with Grand Inquisitor, honestly.
Brian's the only one who played a game with him.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today. I think I want to revisit that because I didn't quite give
Yeah.
that justice.
I think for me, honestly, for reals though, Oba's the better deck right now, but I'm leaning towards IG88. I think it's more so my play style, less thinking, and I think when the full set comes out, I think he'll be more fun for me to play. Yeah, it's gonna be like, I think the way you're gonna want to play him is just play as many low cost as you can, just smack face, do as much damage as quick as possible, and get out. Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. So we'll see.
Sounds good. Cool. All right, that's all our questions. Always appreciate anybody, just dropping in questions. We are over the 2-hour mark. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. We hope that you are excited as us. This is a good thing to share with some of your friends who are on the fence, to talk about with your stores as well. Pre-orders, I believe, are actually up now. They didn't come out on the 16th, like originally was announced or whatever in that one article, but it does seem like they're up now, so you can definitely talk to your stores and at least give them interest. And still just remember, we're still 5 months out. You're still far away. Some of your stores might say no, but when it gets closer to, and you're like, I will give you $120 for this box, they are more than likely going to say yes. Hosting and stuff weekly, that might be a little bit harder, but maybe you could step up and be the leader for that. But yeah. Any other closing thoughts, gentlemen?
I'm so excited for this game.
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Let's get it.
Cool.
Ridiculous.
We will still have gameplay videos coming up. Hopefully we can get out some articles to you guys. But yeah, follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube for all that stuff. And again, appreciate you listening. Drop a 5-star rating, whatever, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Be much appreciated. But yeah, until then, we will see y'all next time.